part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, but know he's no good thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love, those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug, those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make of lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Oh yeah, I do this for my father, y'all. What's up? We're here. If you don't know the song, that's Abstract. Shout out to Abstract. He's actually a friend of the channel. He's reached out to me before. He just said, hey, man, keep playing my music and get people to know who I am. Abstract, I do this for my father. I got Ash humping my arm right now as we speak. Thank you guys for being here. It was an exciting weekend. The world is slowly learning about Rico Knows, and I can't do anything more than say thank you to each and every one of you for being here. It's a special build-up for me. You know, it was the off-season. Trying to get followers in the off-season is next to impossible. Yet, we somehow did it with ease. Never doubted it for a second. And I told everybody, I want to say we were about 2 or 3 months out. And I told the guy, and he wrote me back recently. I told him, hey, man, I'm going to be at 100,000 followers before the football season. And I looked at Kim Jones, the beautiful Kim Jones sitting next to me now, and I said, sweetie, let's go on vacation. We earned it. We earned it. Let's go on vacation. And we took 3 different vacations this summer. We took a week off every time. Just go relax, push away from the computer, push away from the phone, push away from everything. And we went and relaxed. And what do you know? We hit 100,000 before the season started. And the rest is cake, bro. We didn't miss. I just saw somebody write in the chat and they said, hey, Rico, everybody got today off. Why are you working? It's Labor Day. Everybody got the day off. Dude, this isn't work to me. I already took all my days off. I'm all in. I'm engaged. We're here to do it. So as you guys know, it is ACC Monday. If you have any questions about the ACC, all you got to do Jump to the YouTube live stream. Hit the like button before you get in, please. We already have 95 people over here on YouTube. We have 82 on TikTok. We got 170 people watching, and I haven't said a damn thing about the ACC yet. But I want you to do, though, before you get in the live stream, hit the like button. It pays my bills, y'all. It keeps me doing this full time, and this is why I'm so informed. You got to hit the like button. You can leave the stream, go hit the like button, come back in. All the interactions count, and this is what we do. Shout out to Ash. She still wants the love. Baby, can you please handle her? Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Let's get focused. Now, let's talk about it. Exciting-ass weekend, right? I'm talking about the ACC, but real quick, I want to inform some people. People have been asking, what is the L and the D, pause, on the uniforms at Colorado? Because Shedeur Sanders is rocking an L, and your boy Travis Hunter is rocking a D, a Delta. Shane Hooks as well, right? Dude, this is where it's at, guys. We have leaders and dogs. And when you spell dogs, hey, spell that with a Z, bro. I don't even like to spell it D-A-W-G-S because that reminds me of Georgia too much. But I can rock it D-A-W-G-Z. It's the dogs. I like it, though. Let me tell you, in the military, we have leaders. We got captains, too. But we have leaders, and sometimes people confuse the two. If you're a leader, and then are you a mentor? You cannot project yourself onto somebody and say, I'm your mentor. People have to voluntarily identify you as their mentor. You cannot tell someone, I'm your mentor. Nope. You can be an apprentice. You can be a journeyman. You can be somebody you're trying to learn from, all that shit, but you cannot be a mentor. Somebody has to tell you about it. You cannot call yourself a dog unless somebody else labels you a dog, unless somebody else sees it in you and says, damn, that man is a dog. You guys see Travis Hunter? He was a dog off the leash, y'all. He had all the energy for days. He didn't run out of shit. He was out there doing his thing. I love that Sonny Dykes quote. He said, Travis Hunter was able to play every single play, and we weren't. It's amazing. So shout out to them for being innovative, identifying what they want out there. They have leaders, people who lead you in off-season workouts, people who lead you in player-only meetings, people who lead you in player-only drills. Because, there's limitations by the NCAA. They can't have coaches at every practice. They can't have coaches at every single throw-around and workout. They can only send the players out there to do their scheduled things. And you got to have subordinate leaders, internal leaders. There's certain locker rooms out there missing leaders. And if we're talking about a team out there and their leaders, let's give them their shine when it's due, bruh. How about the leaders at Georgia? One of the leaders is Jarvis Jones here. Jarvis Jones, what an amazing man. Jarvis Jones played George Washington Carver High School out of Columbus, Georgia. Won the state title. Was all state in basketball. He's a 6'4 dude. 6'4", 240. I remember as a linebacker. 4-star, right? On Rivals. He's a 4-star athlete. Goes to USC. He's at USC in their heyday. Couldn't start in the Pac-10, but, man, he was on the team. Then he had spinal stenosis. He got injured, and USC would not clear him to play again. He asked for a release of his scholarship, and he came back home to Georgia. But these Bulldogs, they don't care if your spine's broken. They don't care, hey, man, can you play ball? And they gave him a scholarship. They let him play. He redshirted, right? You have to sit out a year back then when you transferred. And he went ahead and he played. 2-time All-American, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, complete flop in the NFL. He was out of the league in about 5 years. Did not get it done. Did not get it done. Probably the worst draft pick for the Steelers this century, according to PFF. And then, he did the right thing. He went back to school. He finished his degree. Went to Georgia, got his degree. Once you get your degree, he got on the coaching staff. And he's an assistant outside linebackers coach. And you want all your players to emulate you. You want to be an extension of your coach when you're out there on the field. You're on the field, you want to replicate whatever that coach is teaching you. And what he's teaching his players is how to drive recklessly. Because he got arrested for reckless driving and speeding this weekend before the game. He's leading the way. Georgia coaches do it, and they're going to handle this internally, Rico. Rico, stop it. They're going to handle this internally. Bruh, the coaches do it, the players do it. How many people got to die? How many people got it? 2? 2 more? More than 2 got to die before we give a shit. Outrageous. The only thing more outrageous than that conduct is the ACC preseason all-conference team. I went and looked at the all-conference ACC team, first team, and I looked at who they got. And they got Drake May right here at quarterback. They got Will Shipley and Trey Benson. Johnny Wilson. Tez Walker can't even play right now. How the hell did he make the list? This is how you know it's a popularity contest. Tez Walker can't even play. We're going to see all 7 of these Clemson all-conference players. And that's why every talking head in the world right now is picking Clemson to cover this spread. And rightfully so. It looks like they should cover the spread. They got all these guys. But there's Duke. There's Calhoun. There's Barton. Duke returns everybody. But when you look at this list, you know what's crazy? You know what kind of makes me do a double take? Is this preseason player of the year. They did voting for preseason player of the year. They had the nerve to vote for 3 different Clemson players. Will Shipley, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and Tyler Davis. Guys, if Clemson goes undefeated or if they win the ACC, it will be because of none of these guys. None of them. It will be because of Cade Klubnik. And that man didn't get a vote for preseason player of the year. Not a vote. You're busy voting for Tyler Davis, a defensive tackle. You didn't even vote for Cade Klubnik, bro. And tell me this. How in the hell do we not put Jamari Thrash up here at wide receiver? Even if Tez Walker was playing, Jamari Thrash is everything. He's a top 11 receiver in the nation last year. He's one of the top returning receivers in the entire country. He's at Louisville. He scores 2 touchdowns his first game. Even if Tez Walker could play. This is a popularity contest for North Carolina players, for Florida State players, and Clemson players. That's all it is. They didn't give them any they didn't even sit down and really break it down. The offensive lineman, first off, it's just a bunch of draft prospects. It's not even the best players. It's just who do we think is going to make it to the league so we can say he was all conference. This is embarrassing. Embarrassing, bro. It's gross. I'm so ready. I'm so ready for Jamari Thrash. I'm just letting you know. Pause. I'm just letting you know. All right, so we're talking ACC today. Let me break it down for you guys. How did they do this weekend? Well, they showed out in some places. Remember, Wake Forest, they looked great. Wake Forest, without Sam Hartman, they looked good, but it was Elon. And Elon looked absolutely garbage. I mean, they looked terrible. Okay? NC State did not impress me. They beat UConn, but they couldn't handle UConn the way you would imagine. UConn actually had a quality team. It was a lot closer than you think. Brennan Armstrong can't throw. I'll never cheer for him, but he did run for almost 100 yards. It's cool. Miami looked dominant. I rewatched the game today. Miami was actually running the rock everywhere, which I didn't anticipate. A lot of people like to talk about Tyler Van Dyke being another quarterback from the Northeast, the Connecticut area. I look at him. I get it. He's on draft boards. He's on mock drafts. I don't see anything NFL about him. Maybe 5th, 6th, 7th round, but somebody's going to gas him up to the top 3 rounds. Watch. Offseason, Mel Kiper and them boys are going to talk about it. I'm going to come back to this clip and tell you I called it. This guy will be given a 1st or 2nd round grade just by his size metrics, not anything he's ever done on the field. I promise you. Okay, Louisville, Georgia Tech, game of the night that night. A really good game for the ACC. Loved everything I saw from Haynes King, even in a loss. He played great for Georgia Tech. But Jamari Thrash, Jack Plummer calmed down. Second half, they went out there and did their thing. Coleman looked good. I'm really encouraged by Louisville. It wasn't as dominant as I was hoping for, but the score was real. Tennessee blowing out Virginia. Not surprised. Virginia looked hapless. Joe Milton did not look good in this game. Joe Milton did not look good. People started writing me, Rico, is he another Anthony Richardson? No, he's never won a quarterback battle anywhere. It's trash. But you got a superior team to Virginia. Shout out to Tennessee being the only SEC team to actually win a game outside of conference against another Power 5 team. The rest of the SEC lost. Speaking of losing, how about South Carolina getting their face smashed in? North Carolina's defensive line is real. Remember when Silver transferred out? There's a 5-star kid. His name is Silver, last name Silver, and he transferred to Kentucky. He couldn't start at North Carolina. 5-star defensive tackle. He transfers in the winter. You know why? Because they're amazing up front. They sacked Spencer Rattler 9 times. Guys, 9 sacks in one game. Carolina finished the game with -2 yards rushing. -2 yards rushing. British Brooks, shout out to him, coming back from a season-ending injury last year. He didn't play at all last year. Comes back first game, 13 carries, 103 yards. Loved it. Good to see British Brooks back. He's a fifth-year senior. Very experienced. Love everything he's doing. Boston College, fire your coach. Made the video this morning. Fire your coach. Northern Illinois should not have won this game. They have no business playing with you. Let me tell you why I got issue with this particular game. Boston College came out and said, well, we knew we were going to go with Castellanos. If you don't know, they got a dual-threat quarterback in the transfer portal, Thomas Castellanos. He shows up, and he's really good. He's from Ware County. Shout out to Waycross, South Georgia. And Castellanos shows up, and he plays great in the spring. He plays great. Well, he showed up after spring, but he plays great in the fall. Wins the quarterback battle. But apparently, they didn't want to tell the starting quarterback that. So they let this kid Moorhead start the game, waste 2 series, and then after that, they bring Castellanos in. Coach, after the game was interviewed, said, oh, yeah, the whole team knew we were going to make this swap. Castellanos says he knew the whole time. Bro, why'd you waste two series? Why did you waste 2 series? 2 3-and-outs. You lost by a possession. You're a terrible coach. Jeff Hafley, needs to be fired. This is a former defensive backs coach for the NFL, was the defensive backs coach at Ohio State for 1 year, and then got hired into a head coaching position. Never seen anybody get a head coaching job that fast with no credentials. None. And he's been shitting the bed ever since. Dude won 3 games last year, lost to UConn 13-3. You know why you're not winning recruiting battles? You lost to UConn 13-3. You won 3 games last year with Zay Flowers. Bro, I could win anything with Zay Flowers. I can win more than 3 games with Zay Flowers. Pitt. New look Pitt got Phil Jerkovic. Oh, by the way, that was Boston College quarterback last season. Phil Jerkovic comes in. They beat Wofford. I wasn't impressed with the tape. I watched it again. Wofford's obviously horrible. But I watched Pitt, and I'm like, It looks like they're missing Izzy Abanikanda. Can you blame them? They're missing a 1,400-yard rusher with a 6-yard per carry average and 20 touchdowns. It looks rough. On the flip side, Syracuse looked great against Colgate. All right, go brush your teeth. Check it out, man. Syracuse looked great. Schrader has always been good. I've always felt that way when I watch the tape. And Schrader beat out a lot of guys to get this job. Remember, Lamson had to transfer out. They brought in Carlos Del Rio Wilson from Florida. He didn't beat him out. Like, Schrader's he's a man amongst boys. He's actually better than all these guys. I think Schrader's an XFL-level quarterback. Virginia Tech beats Old Dominion last season. Old Dominion beat them 2017 in the first game of the season. Virginia Tech wins the game 36-17. Totally different story this year. Grant Wells didn't throw 4 picks. Right? He went out there, put up over 250, hit his favorite target, Allie Jennings, for 2 touchdowns. Allie Jennings, former leading wide receiver out of Old Dominion. He left. Old Dominion's cupboard's bare, bro. Old Dominion will not be winning games this year. Quarterback left. He went to Western Michigan. Ukwu, their best defensive lineman, he had 12.5 sacks last year. He went to Ole Miss. They lost their offensive lineman to UCLA. They lost 3 players to the NFL draft. Old Dominion's leading rusher, Blake Watson, back-to-back seasons of 1,000 yards. Well, 1,100 yards and then 900 yards. He's at Memphis. Like, Old Dominion's just going to be bad. And Virginia Tech beat the brakes off him. Good for them. Shout out to Jalen Lane, the other wide receiver who scored a touchdown, leading wide receiver from Middle Tennessee State, who transferred in as well. Then the game last night, everybody's talking about. Florida State put SEC in their place. Florida State they didn't just beat LSU, they beat the SEC, bro. They beat for the second year in a row. Now I dare Kirby Smart to do his final poll of the season when Florida State and LSU have the same record. I want to see Kirby Smart put LSU ahead of Florida State in the final poll. Because that's what he did. I want you guys to understand something. Kirby Smart watched Florida State beat LSU last year head-to-head. And at the end of the season, when they had the same record, he went LSU 12, Florida State 19. That's what he did in his final poll. Oh, Rico, he doesn't do the poll. Yes, he does. He does the final poll and the first poll. Bastard. I saw an amazing team last night from Florida State. You can't cover those receivers. They're a mismatch nightmare. You put anybody in the box like that, we got a problem. I'm telling you, you put people in the box to stop Trey Benson, you're going to get beat over the top. Those receivers are a problem. And just wait till Jaheim Bell gets, the playbook down. He'll be even better. So tonight's the big game, Clemson and Duke. I told you take Duke. I feel like they can stay within 13 points from Clemson. There's a guy out there, Josh Pate or some shit like that, some other guy who talks. He's hired by On3, so people think he knows what he's talking about. He speaks articulately and clear, so people are like, yo, Rico, I think he knows more than you. Look, man, he said take Clemson in the points. I'll tell you what, it can happen. It can happen. But when you have 17 returning starters from last year of a 9-win team, all these guys are coming back. They don't know how to lose. Clemson's never played Riley Leonard. They didn't play each other last year. Clemson has never played against Riley Leonard. And anybody saying Duke's going to get blown out here, you haven't seen Riley Leonard play. Riley Leonard is him. I'm calling it before the game. Riley Leonard is him. Do what you want with that. I think Clemson's going to struggle slightly initially. Offensive coordinator just not being in the loop. Now I'm going to get to the chat. Oh, no, I'm not. I got to go to week 2. We got matchups. Instead of giving my takes in every single individual video, I'm going to give it here. So we're going to call it even. And everybody can say what they want. I don't know the spreads on these games. I'm just going to pick money lines. Obviously, Louisville beating Murray State. Go put 20 grand on it. Oh, you don't have 20 grand? Sorry. Go put 30 grand, 40 grand. Vanderbilt or Wake Forest. I'm taking Wake Forest. I saw what Vanderbilt did with Hawaii. I wasn't impressed. I think Wake Forest is better than Hawaii. I'm taking Wake Forest here. I always pick against the SEC. I got Notre Dame at NC State. I think Notre Dame's going to beat them really bad. NC State does not look good to me. They just don't. Purdue at Virginia Tech. This is an interesting matchup. But I actually think Purdue's in for a long season. Give me Virginia Tech. I think they have better players. I think their receivers can beat one-on-one battles against Purdue. They can. If you thought Fresno State and Mikey Keene were putting up some numbers, wait till you see Grant Wells and Virginia Tech. I'm hoping Virginia Tech wins this game. Got to see the line, though. Holy Cross is going to give Boston College all they can handle. Holy Cross is giving Boston College all they can handle. I hope they win that game. I hope Boston College wins the game. I hope. Give me James Madison to beat Virginia. James Madison's going into Virginia and beating them. Promise. Tony Elliott's going to be in trouble. Georgia Tech's going to win big. Clemson will win big. A&M at Miami. I like A&M in this game. I think they match up well. Miami's strengths it doesn't look the same. It doesn't look the same, bruh. Western Michigan at Syracuse. Give me Syracuse. I give it to me. North Carolina's going to beat App State. Everybody keeps talking, Rico, can App State do it like they did last year? No, not necessarily. App State has Noel, the running back, Nate Noel. He's good. But I already told you, North Carolina's defensive front is a problem. And if you think South Carolina couldn't run on North Carolina, because they couldn't, if you think App State's better, I mean, you're tripping, bro. I think North Carolina's going to be a problem. They're going to beat them. Duke's winning. Give me Cincinnati to beat Pitt. I want Cincinnati to beat Pitt. And then Florida State will beat Southern Miss. So there's a couple coin tosses here. A couple confusing ones. A&M and Miami. I think Cincinnati and Pitt. It's pretty tough to call. I'm calling an upset. Well, I think JMU is favorite, but I'm going to take JMU over Virginia, and I'm looking at Virginia Tech beating Purdue. Those are them. And I'm also saying Wake Forest over Vanderbilt. Hey, man, I can miss here. I can miss. All right, we're going to chat. Once again, TikTok. 175 of you. Let me explain to you guys how this works. All these questions, all these comments. All you got to do, go to the link, join the Facebook or join the YouTube. Go to YouTube. Come over here. Hit the like button before you jump into YouTube. I will answer your questions. I will acknowledge your comments. I do not talk to TikTok while I'm on live stream. I'm doing my show. So over here, we're jumping into it. If you want to see the graphics on the screen, the ticker, you want to talk, let's talk. All right, guys, I'll take your questions. Let's go. LFG, let's go. I'm a little early. What up? What's your name? Hiranda, what up? Hey, don't put those 420 numbers around me. I'm not an advocate for drug use. I don't get down like that, but shout out to you. Connor Cahill says, Rico, you're the MFing man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Like to hear it from the ladies, but I'll take it. Boss Omar says, good day, sir. I believe speed kills. Yeah, it does. Tell the Georgia coaches to slow down. The fact that a lot of that speed has not been seen yet in action, outstanding work from Coach Prime and his kids. Rico, that's a bad man. You too. Thank you very much, Boss Omar. I want to be clear. The majority of Colorado speed has been seen. The players you saw on the field are the best ones they have, and they're the ones playing in the game. Don't think there's some hidden weapon they're hiding. No, they got all their best players out there. They're doing their best. I know who hasn't played yet. I know the whole damn roster. Tyler McNamee says, I would love to give some shine to two portal guys. Oh, shout out to them. That media won't credit for changing the game last night. Keandre Jones and Bless Harris, they were ready to step in and produce. So, shout out to Tyler McNamee. He's talking about two offensive linemen for Florida State who filled in last night. First one, Bless Harris, he's a transfer from Lamar, okay? And then the other offensive lineman, Keandre Jones, he's a transfer from Auburn. Shout out to Callaway High School, Georgia's finest. But, yeah, they are these huge guys who are just sitting there. They're depth pieces, got it. But they did great last night when needed. I went in deep, Real Sports History says, I went in deep, on Duke last night. And I want to shout out the Director of Football Sports Performance, Strength and Conditioning Coach, David Feely. Outstanding job he is doing. You know, they got some fast players. Duke is fast, strong. They got a transfer from Texas A&M because he wanted to go play for Coach Mike Elko. And I just think they have all the right goods. If they were ever going to beat Clemson, this is when they do it. But remember, Clemson, season openers. Dabo Swinney's 14-2. His only two losses to Georgia. Okay? See, Duke's never beat a nationally ranked team in the season opener, ever. So they're in trouble. They're not going to win the game. Saying they're going to win the game is a stretch and a dream, but I know I'm really pulling for them to cover. And if I miss, guys, holy smokes, I can afford to miss. Tyler McNamee says, did Mike Norvell cement himself as one of the best play callers in the country last year? Not to me. Finally got his playmakers, and the second half was a masterclass, and he completely took Perkins out of the game. Yeah, I want to say you don't really take players out of the game unless you're blocking them or out-scheme them. I think it's LSU's defensive coordinator not putting Perkins into the game plan and allowing him to have an impact on the game. Rush that man. I don't care what the stats say. Tyler Mack, you know what the stats don't know? The stats don't know when, on this hash, this is when he handles his shit. Stats don't know this man will get through a blocker and take on a kick out. Like, they don't know that kind of stuff. Thank you for the tip. Tips make my life go round, you guys. I need them. That's the only way I stay relevant. I do this for a living. It's not easy, and they don't pay me just for watching my live streams. If you guys watching my live streams, I don't get paid from TikTok on live streams, just so we're clear. Last FSU question. Who does Jay Travis remind you of as a player? He has seen continued year-in-year growth. Now as a team, So everybody wants to go Russell Wilson on this, but not for me. When I watch him, I think Seneca Wallace. If I'm being honest, I think Seneca Wallace. Do some research if you don't know who Seneca Wallace is, but that's what I see. Could the NC State and Notre Dame game get interesting this Saturday? Not necessarily. I don't care if it's sold out. Notre Dame looks very dominant right now, and they have a good rushing attack. And NC State looks like they're struggling to find receivers. And they also need running backs. Like, they're not running properly. Anytime your quarterback leads you in rushing and it's a kid named Armstrong, I can't root for you. I think that's terrible. Just being real. Do you think UConn will beat Boston College again this year? By the time they play each other, the wheels might have fallen off of Boston College. And UConn looks really good. They look like they match up well. Anybody can beat Boston College. Holy Cross might beat them. What up, Lewis Henson? Roll Tide Roll. Shout out to you, brother. Willie Bobo says, we're all we're all here. Took a day off to watch Rico Knows. I can't miss a live show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thank you very much. You can miss the show. It's posted. You guys can still go watch the replays. They're always posted. And, yeah, it's all the same for me. On Sundays, plug myself to the oxygen tank. Word. Bernard, I can't wait to see what he say about the over-under on tonight's game. So the over-under on tonight's game, it's really popular to take the first half under, I'm sure, because you're hoping the offenses are kind of slow and out of rhythm, and then you're hoping the defenses go out there and nobody's tired yet. So the first half under is always something you should be interested in. I don't know the numbers. I'm not concerned with it. I'm not a gambler, guys. Everybody coming to my page, oh, my God, Rico, all the guys, I'm getting offers. I shit you not. I got a guy writing to me telling me, Rico, just go to my Twitter. He's got a lot of followers on Twitter. I don't know what's a lot, but he's got a lot. And they do gambling, and they this, and they want to start a Discord and take all my bets. And, Rico, we can do a Patreon together. Everybody's trying to partner with me. You know what you guys are all missing? I am this resource. It's my mind. It's my knowledge. And you just want to latch onto it. What do you bring to me, bruh? Oh, well, I can give you the resources so you can put your money here where your mouth is. Nah, bruh, I don't gamble. The only thing I'm gambling is my reputation. I get it right, you keep sharing it. The world learns about us one click at a time, one share at a time, one view at a time. I don't give a shit, bruh. That's how I get down. Just letting you know. What Mike Matthews, Tennessee commit, and Boo Carter as well. Tennessee high school kids saying that they're going to Tennessee, wide receivers and Mike Matthews. Yeah, Dominique, I don't care about recruits, man. They change their mind all the time. They transfer. Let me know when they're in the too deep and they're playing in games. Thoughts on Penn State? Penn State is not the ACC. I talk about the Big Ten tomorrow. Rico out here working when everyone else got the day off. True grinder. Evan Kramer, it doesn't even feel like work. Shout out to Evan Kramer. He's on the leaderboard for the ESPN Pick'em group. He really is. Tyler Rowan said, Rico, what are your picks looking like on ESPN Group Week 1? I got two best ones, 8-2, 6-4. Points-wise, I got 60 points on my best entry. All right, let's talk about it, Tyler Rowan. So if you guys didn't know, when you go to ESPN, you go in here, you can go to Fantasy, you can go to the games, and there's a college pick'em, okay? It's over here. We'll go to it. I intentionally had different themed pick'ems where I intentionally only picked upsets. It didn't work out. That's the 5-5 one. I got 5 of them right, 5 of them off. I do different things. I'm just trying out some algorithms. But let's go look at the leaderboard and see who's beating who. We're in the group here. If you didn't know, we are in the top 10 groups in the world. Shout out to Rico Knows. Here we are. We got 1,495 entries. We just passed Ohio State again. So we're in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place right now. Shout out to all of you guys for being in the group. And in the group, first place is Robert Lopez with 53 points. We got everybody here. Evan Kramer's right there in 7th place. He's here in the chat. Shout out to him. And this man talking says I got 60 points is my best entry. Tyler Rowan. Nobody's got 60 points, bro. The highest points is 53. The most you could have is 55. You don't have 60. I'm telling you that right now. You might have 60 percentile. But shout out to my twin brother, Morantz Rance. He's right here. Tied for 8th place with some people. But this is the whole leaderboard. There you guys go. My rankings are pretty bad. Some people are beating me. Congratulations. We'll see how it goes all season, but everybody's trying to beat everyone. Join it. We're doing confidence picks. Confidence picks are hard. Pause. Thank you, Rico Knows. My pockets are deep. Shout out to you, Willie Bobo. I'm glad we got you something nice, man. I know everyone here made bank this week. Break yourselves off, fools. I did get tipped by one guy who won pretty big. He said, thank you for helping me with their picks. If you guys are picking, the merch sales went up this weekend. A lot of people did it. The wonderful Miss Kim Jones put up different things on the merch. So the merch is ricoknows.org, and you can get yourself a shirt. She put up different colors, different designs, different fonts. Do you want to see a dead body? We got those shirts. Want to see a dead body? We got those shirts. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. We got hats, throw blankets, hoodies. It's getting cold soon. Everything's there. Hey, if you win something and you want to break me off, go buy something. Or come in here and tip. It's all good. I can get tipped on TikTok and tipped on YouTube. Do your thing. I ain't mad at you. Hey, if you won and you want to keep all your proceeds, do that too. I got kids to feed. I understand. Duke or Clemson? I already talked about it. There's a video on it. Please go watch it. Is Florida State back? Where'd they go? Is Florida State back? They're a top 10 team last year. What are you talking about? Where'd they go? Florida State's always been back for years now. Shout out to Mike Norvell. Duke in the under is free. Good luck to you. I'm here, Rico. What up, Rocky Miller? Good to see you. Yo, Rico, what up? JJ's27 Soccer. Checking in from TikTok. Let's get it. Ribbit. Is that hop, hop, hop or rabbit? I don't know what that is. Could the NC State, maybe that's Bugs Bunny. Could the NC State versus Notre Dame get interesting? Please don't repeat your questions. Please don't repeat your question. You will be muted. What did you think about Alabama's performance? I thought that should be talked about on Thursday because that's the SEC. Yo, Rico, what are your thoughts on quarterbacks using their legs a lot in the Duke-Clemson game? Which one do you think runs more? Definitely Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard led his team in rushing. Riley Leonard will go for 100 yards right now. Like, Riley Leonard is going to be a problem tonight, extending plays with his feet. Look at this. I knew this question was coming. How about that? Look over here. Look at this column over here. Look at Riley Leonard put up 130 yards against North Carolina last year. 14 carries, 130 yards, 1 touchdown. He broke for 74 yards in that game. But Riley Leonard has a run for 56 yards. This dude's an athlete. You guys don't know. This is the best. You know, there's John Rice Plumlee. There's Drake May, and there's Riley Leonard. These guys are all athletic quarterbacks. Wait till you see him tonight. Now, Clemson's fast. Barrett Carter's not a joke. Shout out to North Gwinnett. If you didn't ever watch Georgia high school football. Obviously, Peter Woods, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jamal Anderson Jr. I apologize. That just took off on me. But yeah, this guy runs all day, bro. This guy runs all day. You guys are going to see. Riley Leonard can rush. I don't know what the over-under is on his rushing yards, but he can run. Rico Knows. Green Hearts. Thank you very much, Green Carrillo. Love the vibes, Rico. Thank you very much. I collect sports cards. First Class Gaming says, Rico, I'm calling it right now. Before the football season is over, you'll be working for a huge company as an influencer/analyst. Well, I work for TikTok. I work for Rico Knows. No, I appreciate you, man. You know, I'm obviously getting a lot of offers. I'm getting a lot of reach out. A lot of people offering me different deals. What I want to remind everybody of is I do not chase get-rich-quick schemes. I want my platform, bro. I want the autonomy of time. Like, I woke up this morning, and Kim Jones and I went for a run. We went to the park, and we went for a run. I want to have the luxury to just wake up, go for a light jog, walk my dog. I'll get to work, and nobody's got more work ethic than me. I'll be up till midnight tonight posting videos. I work literally 20 hours a day. Sometimes I'll take it off and go like 16 hours a day. Because this doesn't feel like work to me, I put in all the work, all the time. You guys see me. Guys will be like, man, Rico's on live again? Rico's on live. How many videos did he post today? I don't know. I can't watch them all. I'm my own channel, bro. I am the whole thing. You don't need ESPN. I got you. I'm just ignoring all the shitty headlines they put up there. I'm not out here trying to get the alphabet to follow me. I'm not going to give you WNBA results because I don't have a contract with bullshit sports companies. I'm going to keep it real, keep it focused, and talk about what really matters. But I get offers. They just don't appeal to me. We'll see what happens. One day somebody's going to talk. But when they come talking and they recognize greatness, they better come talking with a few commas. They can't be talking to me with one comma. I'm letting you know now. You guys think I'm crazy, but I'm not. 2 years from now, we're all going to look back at this, and you guys are going to say, I knew him. I knew that guy. 2 years from now. You'll see. But shout out to you, First Class Gaming. I appreciate you. Wells or Card? Just like who you think is better. I think Card is better. Hudson Card is better than Grant Wells for sure. Card is a very good quarterback. When you watch him, he's very efficient. He's athletic. He does all the right things. But Wells has better weapons. Wells has real wide receivers. If you're the leading wide receiver on your team, you're an alpha male. And Virginia Tech went out and got 3 leading wide receivers on their team. DeQuan Felton was the leading wide receiver at Norfolk, right? And then Jalen Lane was the leading wide receiver at Middle Tennessee State. Allie Jennings, leading receiver at Old Dominion. You put them all on the same team? Whew. It's a problem out there. Who you double teaming? Those guys are real. So Grant Wells has better weapons. Hudson Card's a good quarterback. Thoughts on Miles Farmer transferring to Q's? So transferring to Syracuse for Miles Farmer, if you guys don't know, guys, he had a DUI last November, kicked off the team at Nebraska for breaking team rules. and he was the team's second leading tackler last season, and he transfers to Syracuse. First thing really eye-opening when I see people go to Syracuse, just because I feel like Dino Babers isn't on the most sturdy foundation. I feel like he's on the hot seat. Even if they win a game, I still feel like they don't like him, they don't want him for whatever reason. So every time a kid goes over there, I always think, man, he might not be there for long. But congratulations, you found another coaching staff to believe in you. And that's what matters most when you're a kid in the transfer portal. When you're a player in the transfer portal, the biggest thing you got to do is reinvent yourself. You got to find somebody to believe in you. This is like dating. When you get divorced and you got to find somebody to believe in you again, how much time do you have to reinvent yourself? You make an online profile. What if you had to tell the next person you're dating all the dirt about you? Like, hey, my girlfriend broke up with me because I was cheating on her. Like, you put that in your dating profile. Single, recently divorced, I was cheating on my last wife, don't have a job, have character concerns, was once arrested for this, restraining order here, anybody interested? And who's going to click on you? Who's interested in you? Who's going to swipe on you? Right? So these kids in the portal, when they get in there, having been removed from a football team for character concerns, it's really hard. But then again, what if you're good looking? With that same analogy, what if you're really handsome and you look good with your shirt off? What if you're in shape? What if you have a good job but a terrible personality? Miles here, he might have every character flaw in the world, but man, he can play some football. Second leading tackler, hey man, he's production right there. He can produce all day. I want you guys to remember that shit. Great content, Rico. Looking forward to your analysis on Penn State. Yeah, I'll talk about them tomorrow. That's Big Ten. Locked in, Rico. What up, Broussard? Thoughts on Virginia? Virginia's very underwhelming. You know, Tony Elliott, their head coach, coming over from Clemson, former offensive coordinator, he goes to Virginia, and the first thing he does is he tries to find a quarterback in the transfer portal. So he went and grabbed Musket. Tony Musket, right? The transfer from Monmouth. And Virginia they're losing their good players. Fentrell Cypress, their best DB, transfers to Florida State. First team all-conference. You had him on your team. Now he's not there anymore. Cam Kelly was going to transfer in from North Carolina, a safety, to take one of those roles in the secondary that you're missing. Then he jumps in the portal and says, I want to go play with my good friend Storm Duck. I'm leaving to Louisville. Right? We're a package deal. It's not a good time to be at Virginia. Virginia's not going to get it done. It just sucks. They don't have what it takes. Hit that like button. Thank you guys so much. Please do it. We're up over 100. That's our goal every day is over 100. We're already at 114. Shout out to the combined, 280 people watching right now. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys make my life worth living. Leaders and dogs. Word. Let's go Blue Devils. Yep, I'm pulling for them. Remember, Duke was number 25 in my preseason poll because I really respect Riley Leonard. I watched a lot of tape, guys, and as soon as I turned it on, I'm like, oh, my God, that kid's a baller. Hope you guys see him tonight and he plays well. Who do you think will score tonight? I don't try to guess shit like that. That's a gambling question. I don't like it, Irv. I don't try to do that. Dog. Yep. FSU looked good. Yes, they did. F the rest. Okay, shout out to you, Eric Gonzalez. Thanks, Rico. Thank you, Bassard. I appreciate the $5, brother. That means a lot to me. All he's asking you to do is hit the like button. Super easy for all this free information. Thank you very much, Reggie Bell. This is very true. Could the NC State versus Notre Dame? Dude, hey, somebody mute that guy. Mute that guy. Don't ever let him talk again. Hudson, you're muted for the whole live. JMU for the upset this weekend. What are your thoughts on Jordan McLeod? No thoughts, really. I love JMU for what they're doing. I just don't think it's an upset because they are favored by Vegas. You think it's an upset because it's a group of 5 school versus a power 5 school, but I think they're better than Virginia, and I think they had a better transfer class too. And I remember, guys, I told you time and time again, transfer portal classes result in wins because they have immediate impact. These grown men show up and enter your 2 deep. You get good recruits. Shout out to Cormani McLean. They're just depth. They shouldn't be in your starting. They shouldn't be in your 2 deep. They can't be better than the players on your team. That just says you don't develop talent right. If you get a high school kid to show up and he's starting, you didn't develop your talent right. You missed on all your other recruiting classes. You didn't develop shit. There's no way an 18-year-old kid should be better than a grown man that's been in your program for 3 to 4 years that you've been working and developing and coaching. It's literally a failure in recruiting when you find a 5-star to start for you. I'm letting you know that. Shout out to JMU. I think they're great. Can't wait for Rico to get the bag and go corporate on us. Adam, I don't wear a suit, man. They better figure it out. I don't wear a suit. Ben and Doris. What up, Ben and Doris? Was new to TikTok, found RK, Rico Knows, on December 2022 to learn about the portal and hit a gold mine. Dude, shout out to you, Ben. That's when I started talking sports, in December. I never talked sports before that on TikTok or any app. I've always obviously known sports my entire life. I just never shared it with the world. Anybody who met me talking sports, they would be like, holy shit, this guy, you don't want to talk to this guy. I'm a walking almanac, right? What's crazy is I'd go to work, people would have sports conversations. I leave immediately because I don't like to hear ignorance from two people going back and forth. I can't stand it. That's why I don't watch ESPN when they're debating over LeBron and Jordan and Steph Curry versus Kyrie Irving. Like I don't care about any of those bullshit debates. They just got to fill dead airtime. Because they don't know anything. They just got to fill dead airtime with shit they don't know. They pretend to know rosters during the games. It's hilarious when they're talking. I'll be with Kim. We'll be watching a game, and they'll say something about a kid, and I'll be like, that's not true. They'll be like, well, he used to play here. And I'll be like, what? They got it wrong. He said the wrong school. That's not true. They don't know what they're talking about. But thank you for finding me. Travis is explosive, beautiful to see live in person. There you go, Green Creo. Rico Knows with some dollars or some S's. Thank you, Traveling with Trav. Snipe says, just so you know, Rico gave y'all a free parlay yesterday. Boom, boom, boom. Thank that man. Yeah, it was a plus 880. If you did that parlay that I gave you yesterday, if you bet $100 on the three things I told you to, you would have won $880. Who made the bet? Who followed the parlay? It's like I'm not one of these, the locks and all those apps that all those guys do. I'm Rico, bro. I actually know. I'm not just guessing. I see guys betting on baseball games 3-4 innings in. What are you doing? That's gambling. I'm not gambling, bro. I'm talking. I'm sharing information. You gamble, but I'm sharing information. What record do you think Virginia Tech will end with? Milrud, it changes from week to week. If they get better, I can't sit here and say how they're going to be each week. That's why I don't try to make predictions like that. But when you look at the roster and the way the team is, they could struggle with everybody. These are tough games for them. Purdue looks really improved. Rutgers look great and improved. They didn't look like the seller of the Big Ten. There was levels to this shit, right? They stomped out Northwestern, so they're not at the bottom. They're somewhere above that. Marshall has an amazing running back in Ali, and I don't know, but they look like they struggled. Pitt looked kind of boring and struggled when I watched them on tape. Florida State, they're not beaten. Wake Forest, new quarterback. You can beat these guys. Good luck. Syracuse, coin toss. Not beating Louisville. You're going to beat them. I only see, look at this. They're going to end with 3 good wins, though. I think they can end with 3 wins. They can beat Boston College, Virginia, and North Carolina State. I know that. So they're going to at least get those 3 wins. But everything else is a 50-50 or a no. So how many are they going to win? 50-50 or a no? Give me 3-4 wins right now, up to as many as 7. That's where I'm at on Virginia Tech. 4 wins up to 7. Great question. Thank you for asking. Happy Labor Day, y'all. Thank you. Thoughts on the over/under tonight? Yeah, I don't have an opinion on it because I don't know how to hit on that one right now. My gut tells me the under because the defenses are so good. My gut tells me the under. The defenses are really good. Clemson with a new offensive coordinator. My gut tells me the under. But when I look at the talent, I'm looking at an all-conference first-team wide receiver on Duke. I'm looking at 2 quarterbacks that are going to be playing in the NFL someday. You can never count them out. So I stay away from that. Remember, I stay away from certain things, guys. Last night, you guys kept asking me who's going to win the game. I didn't ever tell you who's going to win the game. I told you take the over. I look at matchups. It's a little different. I can't go there. First half under, I guess. But after that, I got nothing for you. Why didn't Cremani play for Colorado on Saturday? I don't know how many times I got to be asked this. He's not better than the players on the field. That's why he didn't play. Could NC State? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Excuse me for a second. I can't take this anymore. Thank you. Thoughts on Miami this year? They looked really good running the rock. I hope they keep working towards their strengths. They have a good secondary. I can't tell how good they really are, Mac. I can't. We'll know after this week when they play A&M. I can tell you everything next week. But right now, we don't know what you're doing. Do you think Miami has the roster to beat A&M? They have the roster. They have the players. A&M's strength throwing the ball. A&M, their strength is throwing the ball. Well, what is Miami's strength? Their secondary. So when you have two strengths like that, that's not good. You're breaking even either way. Somebody's got to give. But what I'm really worried about is how is Miami going to score? They look like they were running the ball really well, but we'll see what happens, man. I don't try to guess at shit. So I know you guys all want answers now. Everybody thinks I'm a gambler. I'm not a gambler. My whole page was based on the transfer portal and me telling the truth about things. Hey, Rico, been watching for a while. Just wanted to say thank you for being a real deal Holyfield when it comes to your football knowledge. You run circles around these ESPN clowns. Yeah, man. I actually run laps, too. But, yeah, I think everybody on TV, it's like somebody said to me, Rico, the difference is you're a football nerd. Firstly, if you met me, you wouldn't call me a nerd of any sort. Secondly, you're a football nerd and they're entertaining. You're not entertaining. I'm like, bruh, I can be as entertaining as I'm allowed to be, right? I can be as entertaining as I'm allowed to be. Those guys aren't entertaining. There's nothing entertaining about getting on TV and being completely uninformed on a topic. But because you were a former athlete, people get to listen to you. Like, seriously. Who's the guy that talks that's really loud and wrong? Who's that former center from the Celtics? Kendrick Perkins. Why does Kendrick Perkins have a job? One of the loudest, wrongest people in America has a job. It's outrageous. Comb it over, broski. I don't need to comb anything over. My hair is short. I think the Georgia police know exactly. I think Cincy will beat Pitt. Thoughts on the game? Yeah, I think Cincy will beat Pitt. Cincy looks good. Shout out to Emory Jones, Henderson. They look like they had the right matchup. It was awesome. Satterfield's out here coaching a hell of a team. And you know Satterfield, man, he's a good coach. It's a love it or hate it relationship. Some people don't think he's great, but, man, sometimes he's good. So I like it. They beat South Carolina without Tez. Yeah, they beat him without – he couldn't play. They could have beat him without anybody. South Carolina had negative 2 yards rushing that game. Duke's going to cover. Shout out to you, Sam Walker. Rico, I have a college fantasy football draft in a few days. Who should I target? I have no idea how a college fantasy football works. I don't know. Do you have one team the whole year? Do you pick new players every week? I don't know. How does that work? How are you drafting in the middle of the season? In a few days. What the hell? What happened to week 1? Go Tigers. Cade had a very good teammate in high school. Yeah, Jaden Greathouse. So Cade scored every touchdown in the world with Jaden Greathouse. You guys see that freshman wide receiver at Notre Dame who scored 2 touchdowns against Navy in the first game? Jaden Greathouse was Cade Klubnik's star wide receiver in high school. You know who they beat for a state title? They beat Jackson Arnold. And he had a couple players on his team as well. Shout out to Bowen, the safety. Yeah, all these guys are supposed to be going to Notre Dame at one point. Let me tell you. Beast. Rico Daddy. What up, Carson's Nations? Thoughts on the over-under tonight? I think I've already addressed it. Mike Scraps. What do you think about the Boston College quarterbacks so far? So there should be no quarterbacks, plural. It's just Thomas Castellanos. He's going to be the starter moving forward. I've watched Castellanos play since high school. He played at Ware County here in Waycross. I'm telling you, he's a dual-threat quarterback. He's good. He's exciting. Spectacular. Reminds me of maybe Colin Kaepernick. That's what he reminds me of. Lynn Swan, private equity plant, board of directors at Apollo. Wow. Lynn Swan, former everything, because he gets fired everywhere he goes. Rico, your thoughts on Kalen Carson? Do you think he is a top corner prospect in this year's draft? I don't assess corner prospects, draft prospects, until after the season. Everybody who asks me about the NFL draft, what round somebody's going to draft it in, who do you think is going to take them, all this shit, I don't even talk NFL draft. I let them play the season. I got to see them play all year, and then I make my assessment. So that's how I feel about that. I chose Miami over A&M on the picks this week. Don't tell us what you did, Try Glasson. You have Miami winning next week. Here we go. What are you thinking for tonight, Rico? I'm thinking let's enjoy a hell of a game, and I'm rooting for Duke. I'm not saying Duke's winning the game. I'm rooting for Duke. After your coverage on Texas State earlier in the year, what are your thoughts on their upset of Baylor, and what does the rest of the season look like? Forrest, you were supposed to be here yesterday. Yesterday was for Group of 5 teams. I do my Group of 5 podcast on Sunday. Show up on Sunday, and you will know what I think of Texas State, and you can ask that question. You can show up on On Wednesday, I'll talk Baylor, but I won't answer your Texas State question until Sunday. Van Dyke looked average, most definitely. How's Duke's defense? Duke's defense, all their starters, man, they're all just the same guys from last year. They're good. They're good. I like Duke's defense. Remember, their coach is Mike Elko, the former defensive coordinator at A&M, when they had a good defense. They know what to do. They know how to play defense. Tonight, Clemson guts Duke. Here we go. That guy hasn't watched Duke play. That's crazy. That's bananas. That's bananas. Apples and bananas. Hold up now. Let's go back to Duke over here. Here's our guy, Riley Leonard. Here's last season. If you want to gut them, you want to put up a bunch of points, just remember, Duke's going to put up points on you. Every game they won, look at this, 30, 31, 49, 38, 45, 38, 34, 30. Only one game under 30 points last year in a win. In their losses, 35, 27. This 20, it happens. 26. This is Izzy Abanikani taking all the carries and keeping the ball off the field. Okay? This is Drake May. This is just bad. Georgia Tech running a triple offense. And we already know Jaden Daniels. You guys don't understand. And they beat the brakes off of UCF in the bowl game. These guys can play football. They put up real points. I wish you guys knew Duke, man. This is funny. I know. Clemson's a brand. I got it. I know how good Clemson is. They should win this game. Don't be surprised when you see Duke playing football. Clemson should win the game. Did Rice do their thing? That's another question for Sunday. They were terrible. Rico, what did you see from Missouri this weekend? That's a question for Thursday when I talk the SEC. What's up with the Florida State wide receivers only really making the contested catches early? A lot of drop passes. It's a game. It's a game, bro. It's a game. A lot of drop passes. Looks like they took the leap on defense. Oh, UNC looks like they took a leap on defense. Most definitely, Aldo, they did. That's what it looked like. And South Carolina shit the bed, bro. So, yeah, shout out to them. Kudos to them. I'm trying to look at the game stats to the Kennesaw State game. Do you know how to find game stats to these less popular teams? Yes, Camden Harris, I do. There's a couple ways to do it. So, I haven't looked for Kennesaw State, but I can help you. Kennesaw State, they played Tusculum or whatever, right? What you want to do is you can go Kennesaw State, and I want you to do and just search for stats. And then you're going to see these stats, 2023 football cumulative stats. And when you get in here, you can click on individual. And then once you click on individual, you can see what they did in their first game. So they usually don't throw the ball. Here's what they did rushing-wise. Here's what they did passing. Here's their receiving. And you go to defense, you can see all the stats. It's clear as day. Okay? I like to use ESPN, but ESPN, when you click on them, 2023, it's all there. It's really easy to look for. Just search stats. Kennesaw State, and then say stats at the end, and you'll find everything you're looking for. Not hard. You got it, brother. I ain't mad at you. I got nothing but love for you. All right. What are you thinking tonight for the Clemson-Duke game? Rewind the show. I already talked about it. Oklahoma and Colorado, sleeper playoff teams. Texas, Bama. I'm not talking about any of those teams today. It's ACC. Opinion on Miami. I hope they play well. I didn't think very highly of them going into the season, but they looked impressive this weekend. They looked like a team that believed in one another, which is, it might be the opponent. Miami of Ohio is not very good. It's a MAC team who gets smashed all the time. But we'll know after this week. Does Cincinnati have a chance to cover against Pitt? I don't know the spread, bro. I don't know the spread. I'm not a gambler. Stop that shit. Riley Leonard over 192 yards passing. He usually throws for more than 192 yards passing. What up, Rico? Crack Cat here from TikTok. Okay, shout out to you, man. You guys, stop with the gambling questions. Do you think Clemson should be more open, taking from the portal? You think they're wait and see, take a chance on it? Okay. So, if you don't know what he's talking about, Ben Endoris is saying, should Clemson use the transfer portal more? And what I'm going to tell you guys is they use the transfer portal. They just don't use it like everyone else. Clemson, first off, Dabo Swinney has said, we're not going to use the transfer portal to obtain players. We're not. Okay, cool. Now, they did take Paul Tyson, the former 5-star quarterback, the former state championship quarterback out of Alabama, Paul Bear Bryant's son or grandson. He went to Alabama, transferred to Arizona State, didn't start at either one. Now he's at Clemson, but it's just because he wants to be a coach. But look, let me explain to you guys what Clemson's doing. Clemson uses the transfer portal by dumping the recruiting misses. Like, Dabo can go out there and say, we don't use the transfer portal, but you do. And the way you do it is you – hold on one second. I'm going to pull it up. You get rid of everybody you missed on. That's how you do it. You get rid of every single person you missed on. So look at all these guys leaving Clemson, right? Now, this isn't all of them. They do this really weird. I cannot stand the way On3's website is structured. You got to go to team rankings first. Then you got to click on a team. Hold on. It's so ridiculous. Transfer portal rankings. No. Transfer portal. Man, you guys are the worst. Can't stand these websites, y'all. Transfer portal team rankings. Go to 2023. Then click on a team name. So annoying. Now, once you're here, you can go up here, click on your conference, click on your team. Then you can sort by transfers coming in and transfers going out. So, coming in, like I said, Paul Tyson leaving Arizona State, coming to Clemson. But look how many people left Clemson. You see all these players that left? They didn't leave because they're not getting starting time. They didn't leave because they're not getting playing time. They left. Some of them left for other beginnings, sure. But they really left because in your exit meetings at Clemson, coach will sit you down and say, hey, look, you're not in our plans moving forward. We're not going to renew your scholarship. And you get offered a chance to finish your education without playing football. They'll keep you on academic scholarship, but you will no longer get athletic aid. It's a rule within the NCAA. I've covered this in another video. So once you tell these young men you're no longer in our plans moving forward, what they have the option to do is stay in school, keep taking classes, get your degree, or if you want to continue your football career, you got to leave the school and go play somewhere else. And that's what's happening here. Now, technically, the NCAA says you can't lose your scholarship for performance on the field. But there's a whole lot of things they can do. You're not actually losing your scholarship. We're just not renewing it. You get to finish the semester, and then you don't get another one for the next year because it's an annual renew. But all these players left in the transfer portal. So when all these guys leave in the transfer portal, that enables Dabo Swinney to recruit full recruiting classes. So he can keep signing 25 guys because the attrition's there. So think about this. When you sign 25, and you sign 25, and you sign 25 and 25, that's 100 in 4 years. And if you redshirt a whole class, if everybody redshirts, that's another class. You get another year. So then there's 25 there. And then if you have COVID where no one used any of their eligibility in 2020, that's another 25 guys. How do you fit 150 guys into 85 scholarships? You don't. It's impossible. So you hope some of them go to the pros early. You hope you have academic attrition. Some guys are no longer eligible. You hope for injuries. And you hope some leave the team. Clemson will have all these guys leave the team. Look at their commits. How does Clemson sign all these? They got 26 commits. How do you sign 26 new high school players? You only got 85 scholarships. You got 26 1 year. That's your freshmen. You got 26 now they're sophomores. You do 26 every year. You got 104 guys. You only got 85 scholarships. They need people to leave. And they gladly want people to leave. Now, all those teams that are signing transfer portal players, they're also signing 25 guys. See, there's a rumor out there, and they spread this to ESPN and all the talking heads. Oh, my God, the transfer portal's not letting kids get scholarship offers. Yeah, it is. They're all getting 25 guys. The recruiting classes are anywhere from 20 to 25. But and the reason it went down to 20 is because of COVID. The NCAA said, we're not going to charge anybody a year of eligibility. You get a free year. COVID doesn't count on anybody. But the NCAA didn't say, oh, by the way, we know you're all going to be carrying these extra kids one more year. You can now have 100 scholarships for the year. They didn't up the scholarship count. They just said these guys didn't waste a year of eligibility. So you went, okay, we're bringing in 25 every year because that's the limit for initial entry scholarships. They lifted the limit for the last 2 years now. But let's just say you were bringing 25 every year. And then one of those years, all 25 of those dudes don't have to graduate. They get to play again. These are these super seniors, 6 years. Well, they get to stick around. You can still add in another 25. It doesn't matter, though, bro. Only 85 scholarships. This is why there's so many kids stuck in the portal. All these kids that were surplus, they cut them, sent them to the portal. No one can sign them because you gave everybody an extra year of eligibility with COVID. Everybody's going, oh, it's the transfer portal's fault. No, it's the coach's fault. So all Dabo Swinney's doing, Dabo's still sending kids to the transfer portal. He's just not signing any transfers, effing over his high school recruits, effing over his misses in recruiting. He's still missing in recruiting. Everybody misses in recruiting. You get a recruiting class. I want to say Auburn, their 2021 recruiting class only has 3 players. 3 players still on the team at Auburn from the 2021 recruiting class. 2022, Texas A&M, the greatest class of all time. 10 guys already gone. In 1 year, 10 guys left. They miss in recruiting all the time, but they don't care if those guys leave because they're going to backfill with transfers. Dabo doesn't have to backfill with transfers right now. 2025, you better believe he will. 2025, Dabo Swinney's going to start getting transfer portal players because the COVID players will be gone. Everyone will assume it's Dabo reacting to his failures. He's learning how to adapt. Oh, he finally gave in to the new way of football. No. It just means all his seniors are gone. You know, if you were a freshman in 2020, that year doesn't count. Then you redshirted in 21. Then you're a redshirt freshman in 23 or 22. You're a sophomore in 23, junior in 24, 25. That's when you're finally gone. You want to know the team that's going to have it the worst? Virginia. Virginia didn't count last year on anybody's eligibility. Nobody lost a year of eligibility at Virginia last year because of the mass shootings. The NCAA said, you guys get an extra year. That year didn't count for anybody. Are you shitting me, bro? Can you imagine if you showed up at Virginia in 2020? That didn't count against you? 2020 didn't count against you. You redshirted in 21. You played in 22, but it didn't count against you because of the mass shootings. You're a redshirt freshman in 2023. You've been there 4 years. 2023. You're going to be there 7 years, bro. You know what we call people who've been in college for 7 years? Doctor. People need to understand there is so many ways to manipulate the transfer portal and the recruiting process, and people are not informed on it. You don't gray shirt anymore. You don't have to. I've done whole videos about gray shirting. But what Clemson's doing is not special. It's not, oh, we build our own, we believe in our own. No, he's just kicking dudes off the team. As you can see here, he kicked all those guys off the team. Every guy he sent to this is essentially getting kicked off the team. Oh, but some of them left on their own, Rico. No, I'll tell you what happened. Let's talk about it. Look at Billy Wiles. Look at Billy Wiles down here. Walk on at Clemson. Walk on. They finally said, we won't give you a scholarship. He earned it. He earned the scholarship. When they had availability, he earned it. And then this year they said, hey, we're going to lift it. We got to give it to somebody else. So you don't have one anymore. You can jump in the portal. You're out of here. And now he's the starting quarterback at Southern Miss, and he led them in passing this week. These guys, it's a ruthless business. But the way Dabo's framed it is we're not going to use the transfer portal. We believe in our guys. We're going to build our guys. Yeah, okay, buddy. Just wait. Wait till all those guys are gone. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Thank you for the question. Thoughts on the over-under? Rewind the show. It'll be a blowout. Okay, shout out to Clemson wins by 20. Do you think Riley Leonard will go over 192 yards? Rewind the show. Might have to go with Morant's here, the better version of Rico. Shout out to you, Isaiah Atkins. 99% me is him. There you go. Go watch his shit then. Wilson is a giant wide receiver, 6'7" for Florida State. Sorry, the chat just jumped on me. The chat just jumped on me. We're going back. I apologize. For FSU, he killed them last night. Yep, Wilson is tall. He's got to start catching everything. Already talked about the over/under. Please don't ask anymore. Good for 30 rushing yards. I believe Riley Leonard's good for 30 rushing yards. I would probably say 60, but I believe Riley Leonard's good for. Is that a bet out there? Is that a prop bet? Riley Leonard 30 rushing yards? Give that to me all day. They're gonna have design runs for Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard might have 10 carries this game. Riley Leonard's rushing for over 30 yards. I'm telling you that right now. Hammer that if that's a bet. I don't know. I'm not a gambler, but 30. Is Duke going to score 20-plus points tonight? I believe so. Thoughts on Oklahoma's running game? Barnes and Walker is the next. P. Ryan and Mixon. I talk Big 12 on Wednesdays. What time do the new power rankings get released? I believe it's today. I've never looked at power rankings in my life. Don't give a shit what they are, Jeremy. Is that made by ESPN? Those are that PI shit? Power index? Yeah. Get the hell out of here. I'll have my top 25 out tomorrow. Are you going to start charging for your picks on the spreads and money line picks? Nah, Nathan Goodman, let's just keep doing it for free. You guys show up. Every time I hit, just start tipping. I'm cool. We could just keep it here. Keep it simple. They give Natty +8. I don't even know what that means. Go Blue Devils. How about the Ole Miss Tulane game this Saturday? How about we talk about that on Thursday, SEC Thursday? There are no straight-up bet unless they're evenly matched. So can you cover the spread in your predictions? It's not your prediction means nothing when it comes to betting for real money. Tynes. I don't know who the hell you are, but I'm not a gambler, bro. I'm not worried about anything you're saying. I'm not even predicting things. I'm assessing and analyzing. I already gave my information on the spread in my video on TikTok. Go find it. Shipley over under 80 yards rushing. I don't even believe in that. Rico, what do you see? What did you see from Missouri? Please don't ever do that again. Don't talk about it if I already told you once. Riley Leonard over. Did you make a video going through the entire Colorado schedule? Where do I find that? You probably don't want to find it, Zach. If I did do it, it was probably 8 or 9 months ago before they got all their players. So it's kind of pointless. I've said Colorado's going 6-6, possibly up to 8 games, but I got them 6-6. Baby, I love your stuff. How you feel about Duke tonight? I'm pulling for them. After last night, who you got to play? Stop it, guys. When they play Clemson or Florida State, let's watch Clemson play tonight. How do you make an assessment on 2 teams and you haven't seen one of them play? Rico, did DeQuan Felton get in for Virginia Tech? He did. Kamari Parker, he had 1 reception. I want to say it was like 17 yards or maybe 30 yards. 1 reception, 33 yards. It didn't look good, though. He was running, and the ball was just put on his shoulder, and he kind of just, like, caught it and stumbled. I mean, he just looks like a tall, lanky dude. But, hey, he caught it. It was good. It might have been like a wheel route or it was some type of maybe in the window of a cover 2 because it looked like there was a guy below him and above him. I watched the film today. I'm trying to memorize all the plays. I'm usually really good with that, but that's how it looked when I saw it. Have you talked about the Louisville game yet? I talked about it many times, Dime, over the weekend. I want to tell you that I love Louisville's offense. I love that they got into their rhythm in the second half. Their defense worries me some, but they were playing against a really good Georgia Tech team. I think Georgia Tech is revitalized and revamped. Shout out to Haynes King. Shout out to Brent Key for what he's doing and all the work they've done with him with Chris Winkie. I like Georgia Tech skill players, but Louisville pulled it out. They got better players. I like their coaching. I hope they get better, though. They got to get better than what I saw. And I have Louisville winning 9 games. They got to do better. So you said Duke is winning. I've never once said that. How did you think Mitch Griffiths did for Wake Forest? He looked phenomenal, David Parker. Thank you for the second good question while the rest of these guys are talking about gambling. He looked phenomenal in his debut, but it was Elon, right? But he looked better than I imagined. New sub, great weekend with Buff and the Knoll win. Shout out to you. How do you feel about the Miami defense facing A&M? Yeah, I think they do well against the pass, so we'll see if A&M can run the rock. Devin Leary didn't look amazing for Kentucky. Is he overhyped or will he look better next week? I don't know if he's going to look better, but that's an SEC question. Go Thursday. And, of course, he's overhyped. What can UVA do to get better? Kamari Parker, first thing you have to do is find a quarterback. You have to recruit better. You probably need to find an offensive scheme that's attractive to transfer portal players. So get a coach with a scheme that makes people want to come play for you. That's the only way you're going to get better instantly is the transfer portal. It's not going to be recruiting, the slow, methodical process. Nope, you got to go hit the portal, find yourself a 5-star quarterback or a bona fide winner, bring them in, and be relevant, right? But the only way you're going to attract transfers is have a young coach who's attract Kenny Dillingham. That's the only way you can feed and pump life back into that program. For right now, they're in the cellar. After week one, do you have different thoughts on Texas versus Alabama? I do, Joseph Villion, but that's a question for Wednesday and Thursday. You got Duke or Clemson winning? I think I have Clemson winning, but I'm really pulling for Duke. Griffiths is mid. How do you feel about Klubnik and the Clemson offense compared to their defense? I think their defense looks really, really poised to bring some noise. Like I love Clemson's defense. Their front seven is real, but their receivers don't move me, bro. I'm not excited about their receivers. I'm really not. I like Klubnik as a quarterback. I think he's professional, so that's how I feel. Morant's rants. Who goes to the moon first, Rico or GameStop? Who we betting on? Me, buddy. Trust me, me. That other rocket's got no fuel. Evan Stewart, Travis Hunter. Stop it. Thoughts on the over/under tonight? I'm a fan. I'm staying away from it. Duke on the spread. Read the screen. My goodness. Penn State beating Ohio State this year. That's a question for tomorrow. You're not talking covering the spread, so straight up win-loss prediction without covering the spreads means nothing. Tynes, you are not a believer in what we're doing here. You don't even understand what we're doing. So, boom. Enjoy your day. Outside of the household names, who increased their pro stock yesterday? I don't do pro stock analysis of any sort. I wait till after the season. Does Riley Leonard go over 193 passing yards tonight? I don't know, D. I don't know. Coach this year, who's going to have the best home field advantage? Like the fans are crazy and the elements are crazy. Who has it? Shout out to Bloods and Paper Podcast. DJ, one of my former players. That's why I was like, why did he write coach? But I get it now. Let's see. Best home field advantage. I've always liked the Penn State whiteout. I've always thought it's been pretty great. Oklahoma looks like they have a good home field advantage. A lot of people are showing up. It's just whoever's got a ruckus crowd, bro. Tennessee's got that same thing. Stadiums and crowd and noise. Everybody's got an advantage like that. Anyone who's got a fanatic fan base. But as far as who wins the most at home and who gets it done, I don't know, man. I think Hawaii might have a home field advantage. This is a long flight. I bet on me. What are your thoughts on Northwestern Wildcats? That's tomorrow. Does Shipley go for 80+? I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't even go near any stat like that. I don't go near those types of stuff. Predictions on Kermani McLean getting some burn at wideout. I don't think that's happening. Bruh, I didn't see the question. I don't know what question. Stats don't know, but Rico knows. Yes, I do. Rico, you ready for the Clemson game? As ready as I'm going to be. Game's tonight at 8, so I got 2 hours. He's reading. I'm reading. I don't understand. How do you feel about Clemson covering -12? I don't feel about it. What did you think about Missouri on Thursday? I'll talk about them on Thursday. Georgia Tech beats South Carolina State by 50. Yeah, that's quite a take. It's pretty good. Terry Roy's there. Thoughts on Alex Golish and the quarterback situation in South Florida? Max Kramer, I talk South Florida on Sundays. Please come back on Sundays and ask that question. Kenny Kaminsky says, Rico, thoughts on Devin Leary of Kentucky? That's a Thursday question. I don't talk SEC today. Does Riley Leonard go over 193 passing yards? I rewind the show. No one talking about how Shiloh led the defense in tackles. Saturday's game. I talked that Friday. We can talk about it then. Keep doing your work. I love your work. Thank you, Ashton Dillon. I appreciate you. In my opinion, Florida State looks way better than, you're comparing two things, THAN, than Ohio State all around. Should FSU be a top 4 team? I'll let you know about my top 25 tomorrow. I'm putting it together tonight, and I will do the video tomorrow. Thoughts on Q's? Syracuse, I think they played well. They played Colgate, bro. I can't tell much from them. But I love Schrader. I love their defense. I like Syracuse as a team. I want to root for them. I'm a Babers kind of guy. I like the way he coaches. Reminds me a lot of the military. But They always seem to lose when it matters most, and they get one good upset a year. One good upset a year to keep your job. But we'll see what happens this year. Schrader's a good quarterback. Morantz knows I'm winning pick'em. Go do it. Who's your Heisman top 5 right now? Right now, as we talk, we haven't even seen everybody play. My Heisman top 5 after week's 1's performances. Number 1, I have to go with Jalen Milroe, number 1. Number 2, I'm probably leaning towards Carson Beck. Number 3, I'm leaning towards Caleb Williams. Number 4, Shedeur Sanders as we speak. And number 5, give me Jordan Travis. And my logic behind that is pretty simple. I cannot pick Heismans on teams I don't think are going to win more than 10 games. You got to win 11 games or more to be in the Heisman race. They don't pick a Heisman winner from a losing team. They don't pick a Heisman winner from an 8-win team, from a 9-win team. You got to be in your conference championship game. You got to be undefeated when it's time for the voting. You got to be way up there. Michael Penix Jr. Yes, Michael Penix Jr. is up there. So there you go. Michael Penix Jr., Carson Beck. And so you just got to pick the starting quarterback for one of the perennial powers. DJ Uiagalelei looks sharp. But you can't go picking Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter like you guys are thinking, because if they lose any games, they're out of the Heisman race. They don't pick them from the losing teams. They just don't. I've seen 2,000-yard rushers not make it to New York. I've seen 5,000-yard passers not make it to New York. Like, you guys got to understand. Think about it. Okay? And no group of 5 players are making it, so don't go there either. If FSU ain't top 3 this week, the rankings are forever rolled. Fair. Do you think Miami could be a legit contender in the ACC this year? They could, Max Kramer. We don't know, but they could. There's no problem with it. They got to win their games, but they're in the ACC, so they could be contenders for the ACC. Is that Kim Jones from W Fan? No, she's from my fucking house, bro. What are you talking about? Hey, Rico, opinions on Max Parrott, 3-star offensive tackle, Colorado, committed to Purdue. I don't care about recruits. While I talk about this show, it's Purdue. That's a Big Ten question. I really don't talk about recruits. They could change their mind before they ever get there. They can sign and transfer before they ever play. There's a new rule where they can enroll in the winter and then change their mind before the first semester. Read the NCAA rules. Like, even if you sign a letter of intent and go to the school, you can change your mind before the first semester. That's the new rule starting next year. Like, these kids are not going to the schools they're signing to. They're going to do spring ball with the school and then go, wait, I'm not in the 2 deep. I'm out of here. And they're going to leave. Watch. 3 kids did it this year, right? Dowdery did it at LSU. The kid at Mississippi State is now at Georgia Tech. And the kid at Oklahoma, the defensive tackle, left Oklahoma, went to UCF. So 3 kids did it without ever being in the fall. They signed in January and left. Now, moving forward, they're not even going to get penalized for it. Everybody's allowed to do it. It's a new rule. So I don't really give a shit about recruiting, who signed where, who verbally committed where. Don't care. They're going to change their mind. And then if you get there and you're not in the 2 deep, you just go hit the transfer portal and you roll out. I'll talk about players when they hit the transfer portal. That's why I covered the transfer portal, because then I can tell you where they're going. And even then, some guys transfer and then transfer again before they ever play. What stats you got for tonight? Nothing really. Rewind the show. I already talked about it. We need Anthony Richardson could never merch. I know Evan Kramer. I really thought about it, though, but it doesn't look good on anything. Rico, I know you're a big college football guy, but what's your opinion on the Chris Jones, Nick Bosa situation? Who knows? Who knows? Thanks for the question. My opinion is, for both of those individuals, everybody doesn't understand the concept behind the salary cap in the NFL and how players are getting paid. And I've used every analogy I can use to try to explain it to you guys, and people still don't get it. Right? People still don't get it. Somebody on TikTok asked, how can we rewind the show? I'm not talking to you guys. You guys can't rewind the show because you're not in the live stream. The show is on YouTube. Go to YouTube, and you can rewind the live stream and watch it from the beginning. Put it on 1.25 speed, and you'll catch up. You got to go to YouTube. This show is not for TikTok. I'm only there so you guys know to jump over. This show is for the 160-something people watching over here. You guys, that's why I don't take questions or comments from over here. Now, that being said, listen, any player holding out, Everybody always says, get your money, bro. Get your money from the owners. You got to get paid and all this stuff. I can only do this. I can only draw it for you guys. I'm going to draw it on this napkin for you guys. There's 2 pies of money, okay? And I want everybody to understand. There's 2 pies, and it's backwards, so you guys won't understand. But there's 52% and 48%, okay? That's what this is, 52 and 48. There's 2 different pies of money for the players and the owners. In the NFL, the 52% goes to the owners, never to be seen again. The players can never get it. This is decided by the CBA. This is decided by the collective bargaining agreement between the NFL Players Association and the owners. 52% go to the owners. You don't ever touch that money. You can never get it, okay? Now, the 48%, if I'm doing it backwards, this 48%, that is the previously predetermined amount of money that the players get. All the players in the NFL get 48% of the revenue. So if you think NFL players are underpaid, you're severely wrong. They're literally getting 48% of the revenue. You work at a business right now, and I guarantee you the payroll of the employees is not 48% of the total revenue of that company, wherever you work. Say you work at McDonald's. You can't possibly tell me they're paying the employees 48% of the revenue. They're not. Any business, insurance company, any type of government official, anything, 48%. So when you get that 48%, they cut that up and divide it by 32 teams. And that's how they determine the salary cap every year. The salary cap is determined by dividing the 48% of the revenue by 32. So every team has a certain amount of the salary cap. Now that 32, 1/32 percent, that $240 million you get in the salary cap, let's just use a hard number. Let's go 225. The owners get 237. The players get 225 million. Then you got to divide that up by 53, and it goes to all the players. So you take one of these pies, and you slice it up. Because that pie is the salary cap, and you slice it up, and you divvy it out to all the players on the team. There's only this many slices of pie that goes to all the players every year. And the GM decides how much of this pie goes to you. The GM decides how much, what size slice do you get from this pizza? What size slice do you get? And the players get their pizza. And then magically all the fans say, hey, that guy deserves a bigger slice of pizza. That guy deserves more money. Dude, get your money. Rico, don't side with the owners. Get your money. Bro, you want to get a bigger slice of the pizza? You got to take it from one of your teammates because you're not getting any of the other pie. Legally, you're not allowed to. That's not a part of the collective bargaining agreement. That's not what your union fought for. You want more money? Your union needs to fight for the other 52%. The NBA is 50-50. Their pie is 50-50. The NFL Players Association, it is 48.5 to 50, 48.5 to 51.5. And it's going to be like that till 2030. It's locked in. So everybody advocating for players to get more money don't even understand where the money's coming from. It's coming from your teammates. You want more pizza? Get more pizza, bro. So let me explain to you how this really works. This is why running backs aren't getting paid. This is why third-string tight ends are getting cut, or second-string tight ends are getting cut for rookies at a minimum, at a league minimum. Why do you think P.J. Walker got fired? P.J. Walker lost his job. He's making $4 million, $2 million guaranteed. P.J. Walker just got cut, quarterback. But Tim Boyle just got signed. Nathan Peterman just got signed. Nathan Peterman just got signed again by the Bears for $1 million, the league minimum. They cut P.J. Walker for $4 million, and they went and signed Peterman for $1 million. Everybody goes, well, he's racist. They want a white quarterback, and he's a black quarterback, and he can't. No, bro, it's math. We got to get some of this pizza back because that fat fuck over there wants more pizza. And got the whole world backing him saying, give him more pizza. Rico, why can't the owners aren't giving you none of it. You know when the owners give you part of the 52? When they convert your contract to cash. When they convert your contract to cash and you get that now, they convert it to a signing bonus. That's when you're getting part of the owner's 52%, but it doesn't even matter because you give them some, and then the next 3 years, the pizza still gets slim. Now your pizza doesn't even show up with full slices. Now you're missing a portion, part of dead cap, because you already paid it forward, and now you got to take it from everybody for the next 4 years. These guys holding out for more pizza, here's what I'll say to them. Thank you for waiting till after the 53 got set. Because if you hold out for your contract and you want it now, you're stealing from people on your team. But if you do it after they sign the 53 on Tuesday, right? Then maybe your team has leftover money. Maybe there's leftover pizza and they can give it to you. Remember, every team they have to use 95% of the salary cap. It's an average over 5 years, 3-year increments. But let me just give it to you guys straight. I've read the entire CBA, memorized the whole fucking thing, okay? It's 400-something pages. When you go in there and you do the salary cap, each individual team has to be over 89% spent on the salary cap. And then the league-wide average has to be 95%. If you're under that percentage, you have to pay the players the stipend or the difference to get it to that percentage. So let's say you're on a cheapskate team and they're not wanting to pay the players. You can, let's say the team is at 87%. They will give you that 2% and then divvy it up among all the players on the team. If there's a league-wide average under 95%, they will get it up to 95% and pay all the players on the team. In other words, the owners aren't keeping this money. The owners can't keep the money. It legally belongs to the players, and it's already been divvied up to all the players. So every ignorant fan in the world who goes out there and says, pay the players more, don't even understand that means pay my teammates less. Go pick a wide receiver and cut him because I want to get more money. So shout out to Nick Bosa. Shout out to Chris Jones. But this is why those teams don't have the depth at other positions. Because they're taking pizza from their teammates. I will never be an advocate for that, by the way. Oh, Rico, it's NFL stands for not for long. Yeah, you know who said that? Jerry Glanville. Stop quoting a guy you don't even know. You bums. If you think Rico is blowing up now, come see him in a year's time. Everyone will know his name. Thank you, Trey Glasson. I hope. Just popping in to ask, what, if anything, will change with your channels as you continue to grow? I'll catch up with the rest of the live stream later. Connor, nothing's going to change. This is my format right now from the way I look at it and the way I see it. I'm going to do a different conference every day. I'm going to watch games on Saturday. I'm going to live my life. Right now, that's how we go. In the offseason, I relax. I cover whatever it's fun, high school film and transfer portal. But during the football season, I think this is the most logical approach to it. Give every single day a different conference, post videos only about that conference all day long, and then do the live stream and only ask questions from that conference. That's how we'll do it. What did you think of Wake Forest opening game? Rewind the show. I thought they were good. Thoughts on the Tar Heels this year? They look much better than I anticipated. You got a great quarterback. Go win some games. You think Drake May is better than Caleb Williams in terms of NFL prospect? I don't assess NFL prospects until after the season. Rico, what are your thoughts on Drake May? He's a good quarterback. How can NC State possibly only be +7 against Notre Dame? They were in a dogfight with UConn. UConn's actually better than you think. No one knows how good Notre Dame is. They haven't played anybody. Is it at North Carolina State? It could be a home field advantage thing. Matchups. There's a lot of reasons. You'll see. Thoughts on Central Phoenix, Alabama quarterback Andrew Alford. Don't really talk about high school kids all that much. Thanks for asking, though. Were you live streaming during the games on Saturday? Sometimes I do count. I try to make content while I'm sitting there because I make more money from my content than live streaming. Sometimes I'll hang out during the game. If I do live stream during a game, it's usually only on TikTok, not YouTube. Morant's knows. Shout out to Morant's Rants. Dean Williams, do you think the Clemson wide receiver room take a leap forward this year? We're going to know after this game. What are your thoughts on Stanford and Cal going to the ACC? My thoughts are they needed to expand. Shout out to them. Congratulations to Stanford and Cal for finding a conference to affiliate themselves with. That's added revenue. Congratulations to SMU as well for joining the conference. But, yeah, I'm excited for it. Good for them. I think they should call it the All-American Conference. I think they should call it the All-American Conference because it goes across all of America. Rico, what are your thoughts on Drake May? I already talked about it. Does Baylor put up a fight against Utah in the right? Dude, that's another day. Leonard rushing yards prop is at 30 yards. Take it. I take it. I'm not giving you advice, but if I was a betting man, I take Riley Leonard's 30 yards. Are you kidding me? It's 30 yards? That's crazy, bro. I'm going to go check something real quick. I can't think of a game where Riley Leonard rushed for less than 30 yards. I can't. I know it's happened a couple times. But when Riley Leonard's on, what are we doing? What are we doing over here? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's happened 4 times in his life. What are we doing? 4 times in his life, bro. Even when he wasn't the starting quarterback, he rushing for over 30 yards. He's doing it all the time. He wasn't even the starter back then. In huge losses, he's coming off the bench, and he still put up 30 yards. Come on, guys. I don't know what to tell you guys. If there's a bet out there to take, Riley Leonard 30 yards, over that shit all day. Nah, sucking on the staircase is crazy. I don't know what you're talking about, Eli Jones. What staircase? For his rushing. Get the bag, Rico. We won't be mad. Thank you very much. Hit that like button and share. Do you think Jordan Travis not scrambling was an evolutionary thing or an attempt to stay healthy? Both. Both for sure. Hey, show ends in 27 minutes, y'all. If I don't get to your question, I apologize. If you were offered an FBS head coaching spot, but you would have to give up your platform, would you do it? Try Glasson. Hell yes, I would. That pay is amazing. Even if I failed, I'd do it. Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. Shout out to Biff Poggi for not being a real coach but getting the job. Do you talk a lot about the NFL? Yeah, not a lot. I talk about transactions, arrests. I talk about maybe performance and breakouts. I mean, I think I have a fair amount. I have a whole playlist on NFL. On YouTube and TikTok, if you go search, you will find a playlist titled NFL. Go watch it. But I think I talk about a fair amount of the NFL. I talk about the NFL draft, NFL transactions, practice squads, players on the fringe, because I talk about a lot of college players. Thoughts on Cincy? I think they're doing great. Let's see what they can do. Satterfield gave them some life. They look sharp. Thoughts on the over-under tonight? I would stay away from it. Bama, Texas prediction. That's another day. Robert Lopez, it's because he was spied all game. This is very true. Rico, I know it's early, but if you haven't seen Andrew Alford play, yeah, I'm not worried about it. Did you guys know that my inbox literally has 1,000 messages right now? There are 1,000 kids that people want me to watch tape on. I'm not even joking. 1,000. Because it's the top prospects for 5 years of, it's like, Rico, class of 2026, class of 2025, class of 2024, and it's the top 500 guys from each class. All in my inbox. Rico, do a review on me. I'll get to it, bruh, or I won't. Show up and play on Sunday. Show up and play on Saturday. I'll notice you. Do you think Louisville can make the ACC championship game? Well, they're 1-0. Looked like a lot of wins here. They got to beat Notre Dame, but that doesn't impact their ACC championship game record. They got to beat Duke. Oh, man, they have a beautiful schedule. I think they can get there with 2 losses. I think Louisville could be in the ACC championship game. I know it's early, guys, but I think Louisville can actually make the ACC championship game. It's possible. Now, could the wheels fall off? Can they drop a game here and there? Yeah, but it looks like they can have out-of-conference losses that won't impact their ACC record. Losing to Kentucky doesn't impact it. Losing to Notre Dame doesn't impact it. ACC championship's real. Shout out to them. What a great schedule. Jeff Brom, do your thing. What are your thoughts on Drake May? Rewind the show. I'm going to work for you. Shout out to you, Elijah Jones. I got somebody offering to work security for me. Did you guys know that? I have somebody who wants to work security for me. I don't need security, bro. Have you seen me? Really digging the stream, brother. Way better than 2 talking heads arguing about nothing on TV. Blue WJ. This is why I do my show alone. This is why it doesn't appeal to me to be in one of those boxes arguing with a bunch of people on pro-choice. I've been offered so many different things. I'll never do it, man. It's just me. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to educate. Jordan Moore growth is impressive. Love his journey. Any other Duke receivers you like best to watch? Not necessarily real sports history. I'm just excited for the game. I think Riley Leonard's the star. It doesn't matter who's on the other end of those passes. He's the star. Who scores first touchdown tonight? No idea. Do you think Virginia Tech will make a bowl game? I don't know. It'll take a lot more weeks before I make a guess like that. Rico, do you know how you can make me money today? Yeah, take Riley Leonard over 30 yards rushing. Didn't know much about you before Theo Ash beef, but that put me onto you, and you know ball. It helps me because I'm going to school for sports journalism. Yeah, Trevor Cos, I don't know what to say. There's no beef. That kid's a pimple-nosed moron, and I'm a sports journalist. Like, I just know more than these guys. I see them out there talking real intellectually, but they don't know what they're talking about. They really don't. They sit around, watch film, and hope for the best, regurgitate what they see on Twitter, hope to make it on ESPN. Dude, I'm not trying to win over the fucking alphabet with butch haircuts. Like, that's not me. I'm Rico, bro. I don't apologize. I sit here. Rico, why are you wearing a 1776 shirt? Well, because that's the year the damn country was founded, bro. By the way, I've been in the military over 20 years. I'm a proud American. Love this shit. I've lived other places. Don't at me. Those guys are all liberal punks, bro. Real talk. Is he reading TikTok chat or YouTube chat? Norca, I only read YouTube chat, but you got to go slow. Let it build up. You started in December. AJ Reed, I did. I thought I've been following you for a year. You have not. You know what's funny? This is a true story. And Jack Boyd, I'll get to your thing there. This is a true story. There are people who write in the comments often, and I know you guys are kids, bro. I know you guys are kids, and you're used to lying. There are people who sit in here and make up shit like, oh, Rico told me this. Rico, I've been following you since October. Rico, I remember last year when you called it, man. You said this, that. None of it's true. No, I didn't start talking sports till December. And Kim laughs about it. When I see a comment like that, I'll show it to her. She'll be like, what the hell? When did you say? It's impossible for me to have said that. You guys are ridiculous. My thoughts on Sam Laporta and Luke Musgrave. I like both of them. They're both very good tight ends. Good luck in the NFL. Do what you do. Thoughts on Seth Hennigan. Unfortunately, it is not a group of 5 day. That is on Sunday. Bring that question to me on Sunday, and I'll tell you all about Seth. Love what he's doing at Memphis. Great analogy. Don't know what analogy I used. Was it the pizza, or was this before that? Don't know, but thank you, Elijah Jones. Why Duke to cover the spread? Why not? What players do we need to keep an eye out for tonight? Riley Leonard, don't take your eye off him. Riley Leonard. Peter Woods on defense for Clemson. He's amazing. Hopefully Jamal Anderson gets in. Jeremiah Trotter, Barrett Carter. Those are all studs. That's all Clemson defense. Do you think Drake May is a good Heisman bet? I wouldn't bet on the Heisman. Worst team in the ACC, Boston College. I'm new here. Why don't I see NY of the questions he's answering in chat? Any of the Trevor Cos? Because I go slow, bro. I let it all build up. I talk for the first 30 minutes of the show, letting everybody get their questions in, and then I answer them one at a time. That's a strategy. That's a method. It's what we do around here. I go 30 minutes monologue, and then I start doing Q&A. Be patient. I'll get to you. Will Miami offense show up versus A&M? They're going to be on the field. Rico, do you know if there's fixed college football games? Gambling is tough sometimes. So, yeah, the kids don't understand this. All the kids who have, like, a gambling app, you know, FanDuel or what is it? DraftKings or any other gambling app. They think that that's how you gamble on sports. And that is how you gamble on sports if you're a fan. But if you're a player, that's not how you gamble on sports. That's why these Iowa kids are getting caught, right? Because they're using gambling apps. The way it's done is there is something called professional gamblers. And this is a world I don't want to get into. I have professional gamblers actually reach out to me this weekend. True story. And let me know of my opportunities if I would just be willing to join their group, move to Vegas, provide some information. They got hundreds of thousands of dollars to front me with my knowledge, all this shit. I'm serious. I got screenshots. And what I'll say to you guys is this is where bookies come in, and bookies are real. Firstly, bookies are in every state where gambling is illegal. So if you live in a state and you're like, man, I wish I was legal. Nope, there's bookies there. Bookies take bets from people. All it is a guy who collects all the money, and then if you win on the bet, he pays you out. If you don't win, they're going to show up to collect. But the way bookies actually work, and this isn't out of the movies, this is real. There's actually a documentary on this on Netflix. It's called Bad Sport. If you go to Netflix right now, I'll pull it up for you guys so you can see this. You go to Netflix and you just go to the search bar. Give me a second. And you type in Bad Sport. If I could spell. Bad Sport. And when you go to Bad Sport, I want to say it's episode 1 of Bad Sport. So it's right here. You click on Bad Sport. Right there. 6 episodes. The first episode is called Hoop Schemes. And it's about Headache. And Headache Williams in 1994, Arizona State, they were getting paid to point shave. And it's a fact. It happened. They were point shaving in the 90s. Now, Rico, old head. Rico, that doesn't happen anymore. No. Let me explain how it happened. It was a friend of his. It was somebody young. It was like 22-year-old dude who said, hey, man, if you take the hit on this, if you go and miss 3 free throws this game and make sure we only win by this much, I'll give you 10 grand. And that kid had connections with somebody else who was going to bet 100 grand on the game. So the player gets a 10 grand. He gets one of his teammates to go on it and says, yo, I'll give you $1,000 if you go in on this with me. So he's paying one of his boys $1,000. He's taking 10. And whoever the gambler is, he's making a killing in Vegas. They're splitting up the bets, $10,000 each. This is a real story. It's on Netflix. And what happens is the players want more money. They get greedy. And they say something like, hey, bet on us, we're going to win this game. And then they don't win the game. Bet $5,000, we're going to win this game. And they don't win. Now you owe your bookie $5 grand. But the bookie doesn't want the $5 grand. He says, yo, slow down. You owe me $5 grand, but I don't need it. I just need you to lose the next game. And now you got people losing games on purpose. Lose the next game and you don't owe me anything. Double or nothing, essentially, right? Lose the next game, you owe me nothing. And now you got a compromised player on the field. The people who get approached by real-life bookies are players, coaches, and referees. Because those 3 types of people can impact the outcome of the game. If you're a regular bettor at home, you can't even fathom that this is happening. But the 3 people that can impact the outcome of a game are players, referees, and coaches. And this is how it happens. Sports get compromised when one player gets an addiction to betting, and maybe he's got his betting app. Maybe he's over here like this, and he's betting $100 at a time, $8 at a time, $10 at a time. No big deal. Oh, Rico, they bet $1,500. It was only 150 bets for $800, Rico. He's just betting $3 a game. Yeah, I know. But then he walks into a bar one day, and somebody says, I bet you $1,000 you can't beat Iowa next week. And he says, I'll take that. And he goes out there and loses. Rico, what's the problem? He bet on himself. He bet on himself to win. Hell yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There is when he doesn't have that $1,000. When he goes to pay off his debt, and that guy says, no, I don't want the 1,000, bro. Just next week, I need you to just take 3 sacks. Next week, I need you to rush for less than 30 yards. Riley Leonard. First game, I need you to rush for less than 30 yards. That's all I need you to do. Don't lose the game on purpose. Just rush for less than 30 yards. Now the game's compromised. This happens. This is real. We know this happens because Donahue already admitted to it. An NBA referee already admitted to it. We got Headache Williams and all those players admitting to it. Go watch the documentary. It's everywhere. It happens. That's why they take gambling so seriously. You can't even gamble on yourself. Bet on yourself? Nope, we can't have it. Because the minute you lose, you're now compromised. And people can walk up to you and just be like, yo, man, I heard you want to make some extra change. Do a little something strange for a little bit of change. Gambling's tough sometimes. What's Georgia Tech's record going to be? I don't know, Terry Rozier. Let's go look at it. Brent Key's a great coach. Before the season started, let me make this clear, though. Before the season started, what just happened here? I try to click on Georgia Tech's schedule. I just clicked on the wrong thing that whole time. It was already up there. Okay. I did a top 25 head coaches in America, new head coaching hires. And I said some things, and I put Brent Key in here. Where's Brent Key? And I said Georgia Tech's going 6-6. It's right there. This was right before the season started. Never seen the teams play. I got Coach Prime up here going 6-6. Luke Braum 9-3. Luke Fickle 11-1. That might not be right, but here's everybody. Okay, so I have Brent Key, Georgia Tech going 6-6. So I already knew they're going to be pretty decent. I hope they're a bowl team. Obviously, you can't go 6-6. If you go 6-6, you made a bowl game. So now you're either 6-7 or 7-6. You're either going to win the bowl game or not. But when we go back and look, they just lost to Louisville. I had them losing to Louisville. But I had them winning, losing, winning, winning. I think they beat Wake Forest. I think they beat Bowling Green. Lose, win. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why I have them winning 6 games. They don't even have to beat Georgia. They don't have to beat Clemson, North Carolina, Miami, Ole Miss, Louisville. I had those 6 losses. They don't even have to beat those teams. If they can beat any one of them, they're ahead. But that's why I have Georgia Tech winning 6 games. I have them going to a bowl game. Could be wrong. Usually not. But isn't he a 5-star corner? So being a 5-star corner means absolutely nothing. You're a 5-star corner. Congratulations. Somebody gave you, a website gave you 5 stars. Now you go to a school. The stars don't matter anymore. And now you got to go to practice and beat out somebody. So who is he not starting over? Omarion Miller is who he can't beat. Do you understand that? Is it Omarion Miller? Not Omarion Miller. My bad. I'll get it. It's a Florida State transfer. Singer. He'll come to me. Somebody help me out. Why am I drawing a blank on the name? The other corner. What is wrong with me, bro? Sorry about that. How am I drawing it? How am I drawing a blank? Give me a second, guys. It'll come up right now. Not Destin Hill. Not Jay. What's up, bro? No. There it is. Is it Cooper? It is Cooper. Is it Omarion Cooper? It is Omarion Cooper. I apologize. Got the last names mixed up. I knew what I meant. So here's Omarion Cooper. This is who he can't start over. He can't start over a guy who's been in college for 3 years. He's 6'1", 190 from Florida, just like Cormani McClain. You guys, stars don't matter. This is an adult. Think about it. How you got to beat this man out at practice every day. You ain't at your high school. You ain't starting there. I don't give a shit how many stars you had. That's all it takes. 10 minutes. Since Duke's playing tonight, what's your take on Daniel Jones when he was at Duke? He was underwhelming when I watched him at Duke. I wasn't impressed with Daniel Jones. I still am not. But he has a great quarterbacks coach, right? Dayball. Congratulations. Bearish on Wake without Harkman, even though the Clausen Ruger offense has been great for years. I don't do bearish terms. I'm not a stock guy. But what I'll say is A.T. Perry was everything at Wake Forest. When I watched tape, A.T. Perry compensated for a lot of mistakes and a lot of inaccuracy. He was dominant for 2 years. I don't see anybody at Wake Forest being like that. I think their defense is solid, though. There you go. Rutgers will beat Virginia Tech. Rutgers looks good. I like Greg Schiano. Do you think Georgia Tech will consistently give a challenge to the other teams in the conference like this past week? Yeah, I think they're difficult. They're athletic. They're difficult. Brent Key knows what he's doing with an offensive line. I like Georgia Tech a lot. Check out Indiana Wesleyan, top 5 NAIA school, 2 FCS transfer running backs, and they got a Division II level facilities. Brev, that's cool. I watch 133 FBS teams every single week. I cannot watch any other level of football right now. Georgia Tech quarterback looks like a solid quarterback, bro. What's your take on that? Haynes King, I told everybody he's great. Kim Show, good to see you here, brother. Haynes King beat out everybody at Texas A&M. In 2021, he was the starting quarterback at A&M. He couldn't keep the job, but he won it in the fall. He beat everybody. 2022, same thing. Beat everybody, lost the job. He can beat everyone in preparation and getting ready. And he's super athletic. I like Haynes King a lot. What team in the ACC can match up with FSU's offense? Clemson. I knew you were talking about Perk before you finish your sentence, LMAO. There you go. What team in the ACC has the strongest provided players stay healthy? Clemson. Clemson's won the conference every single year. Florida State's right there. Florida State and Clemson are both extremely good. What is Lugan Bill's deal, though? Did he even play college ball? Yes, he played college ball, and he played in NFL Europe. Lugan Bill, he's a quarterback. He did play ball. He just doesn't put in the effort and the work to know the players. He doesn't know anyone. He's just out there just talking. He's just the face on media, bro. He ain't hungry. Would you say Keon Coleman is a top 3 receiver in the country right now? Maybe statistically. Skills-wise? I don't know. He's good. Do you like Greg Schiano? Greg Schiano is in the Big Ten. I talk that tomorrow. I do like him. The FSU, we had 3 touchdowns. He is a beast. Okay. Just a question. Will Miami finish with a 9-3, 10-2 record based on the schedule, and Mario Cristobal is bringing him back the U, or is just about paying players to come to the U? So, Mario Cristobal is a hell of a recruiter. He really is. I think he gets a lot of free agents. I think he doesn't have a great culture. He just brings in people. He gets a lot of great talent, but I don't know if he knows how to develop culture. Remember, culture is something systemic that will, self-sustain itself. Like, he brings in a lot of talent. I'm not a fan of Mario Cristobal, personally, but more power to him. They're winning. They're doing good. Milroe, quarterback number 1 this year. He played well this first game. How are we feeling about Arizona State this year? That's not a question for today. We're talking ACC, guys. But Pac-10 or Pac-12 is Friday. Rico, do you follow UFC fighters, how good they are? Yeah, I know a lot about the UFC. A lot. Rashada, more specifically. Yeah, Friday. Do you think Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter had a better game? Friday. How close are Drake May and Caleb Williams as prospects? I don't talk prospects till after the season. What would you do if you were Emmett Morehead's situation, knowing how the entire team and program wronged you? Yeah, man, I think it's gross. I would redshirt. Can he redshirt? Can Emmett Morehead even redshirt? I would redshirt and leave. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, Emmett Morehead was the starting quarterback for Boston College. He came in off the bench last year, and they had the nerve to let him start this season, and then he lost his job after 2 series. They knew he wasn't the starting quarterback. So he redshirted in 21. He played last year. So yeah, he's just gotta eat this year. That's all he can do. Just be there, be on the team, be the backup, and hope they need him at some point. Castellanos is running a lot, but he's got 2 years of eligibility left. He can transfer. 2 years left. 6'5", 235. He's from California, so he can go back to the West Coast. He can go find anyone who needs a quarterback, but Emmett Morehead should not stay at Boston College. Another thing, they're going to lose their head coach. He's going to get fired. So their offensive scheme is terrible, guys. I'm telling you, I watched film on Zay Flowers all offseason for the NFL draft, and I could read every play. Before the snap, I knew what route he was going to run. That's how terrible they are. They got the worst offensive coordinator in America. I think they fired him, but they're just bad. I'm back, everyone. Just finished my lunch. Word. 4 minutes. We're done here, guys. What did you think about the Michigan defense? That's another day. Keon Coleman is nasty. Any chance Duke wins tonight? There's a chance. They're on the field. Labor Day, Rico. Thanks for all you do. Thank you very much. How does the awesome story? He's finally getting to play 2 years later after we thought he kind of just didn't make it, right? But he got his life together. So I'm more encouraged about Hill. But that wide receiver room is enormous. I think they're comparable to anyone else in the country. I like the Florida State wide receiver room. Definitely top 5. What do you think the format should be for college football playoff next year? So next year, obviously, I think it should be top 5 conference champions and then 7 at-large bids. And that's how I think it should be. Do you think Notre Dame is going to make the top 4? I hope not. I think Notre Dame's going to lose 4 games in a row is what I said. I think Notre Dame's going to have a tough time beating Duke. 3 SEC teams played ranked teams, 2 against the ACC, 0-3, all 3 by double digits. Yeah, the SEC is just not very good. The SEC is not very good. As a whole, that conference is not good top to bottom. They're good at the top. They ain't good top to bottom. All those teams got problems. Did you see SDSU getting rid of Hoke? If so, who would you bring in? So, I would talk about that on Sunday. Okay, Sunday. Thank you very much. What would it take for Cristobal to be on the hot seat or get fired? A terrible season for Miami. He will definitely not be fired or on the hot seat, but it'll take 2 of those. Rico, would you ever consider making your own website that tracks the transfer portal? Evan Kramer, I'm not a web designer. I am a cyber expert. I am a cyber defense expert for the NSA, but I'm not a web designer. I don't write in JavaScript or do anything like that. It's not my thing. I could talk to somebody who knows computer science a little better, maybe pay somebody to run a website, but I don't want to do that. That's not in it for me. There's no revenue there outside of advertising. It just sounds like a lot of work and not what I like to do. I like to do this instead. I think Coach Prime killed it with the portal use. That's a Friday conversation. Who's somebody who scores 2 touchdowns tonight? Benton, don't do that. That's a gambling question, and I don't care. Do you believe in Dabo, or has he just had great quarterback play? No, I believe in Dabo. He's had great quarterback play because he recruits amazing quarterbacks. I believe in Dabo. Dabo's won 10 ACC titles in a row. Something insane. Who's won Who's won a Power 5 conference 9 times in a row? What the hell are we doing? Dabo is one of the greatest coaches in America. Dabo's number 2 in all of America. Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney. Don't even put Kirby Smart in that conversation. The breakdown of transfer portal versus extra year COVID eligibility was crucial. Rico Knows. Thank you very much, Real Sports History. I got a lot of shit up here just waiting for you guys to ask. Do you see a lack of development for incoming recruits becoming a problem for the use of the portal and coaches wanting experienced players? Nope, not at all, Mike Diaz. I feel like recruits coming in have an unrealistic expectation of playing football. Like, no, you're not going to play. Not if you're a recruit at one of these top schools. You shouldn't be playing. There's better players on that roster. And if they do play you, they're either trying to appease you or you're a generational talent. But I wouldn't even budge with that shit. I'm recruiting kids. I'm telling them, bro, you're coming here, you're going to redshirt. How about that? Oh, Rico, you won't get any good players. That's cool. I want players that want to be here and build. I don't want players that get here and start bitching and moaning that they're not getting any playing time. I got other grown men on the roster. Shout out to Sam Houston State. Go look up Sam Houston sometime. Look up Sam Houston. They redshirted all their starters last year. Nobody left the team. They let all the underclassmen play because it was a dead year at the FCS level. Nobody left the team. Sam Houston's got the right culture. My chat just jumped on me. I apologize. I'm trying to catch back up. I'm trying to fix my chat. Sorry, guys. Big fan. Killing it, man. How do you think Clemson stacks up against FSU? I think they're there. What do you think should be coach's mindset? Yeah, I've heard Coach Prime talk about this, 40-40-20. Definitely not 20% JUCO. JUCO's going to just go away, guys. JUCO's dying for scholarship slots. They're just not getting them. They got character concerns, grade concerns, sometimes injury concerns. Yes, there are a few JUCO players that were under-recruited out of high school, but for the vast majority of them, they're leftovers from the transfer portal or they're character concern guys looking for a fresh start. The vast majority of JUCO players. At the same time, I want you to go to like the recruiting websites and look at the JUCO top 50 players. Look at the JUCO top 50 players for the last 5 years. Go study it. I've done it. I've done it. Flops everywhere. People they claim are going to be great, and they're not. Okay? Teams are not signing JUCO players. I want to tell you, FBS level teams or FBS offers from JUCOs were in the 500 range about 5 years ago. Then once the transfer portal came alive, and teams realized, I don't have to go to that used car lot to get a used car. I can just go to Toyota and get a certified used car. I can go to Mazda and Honda and get a certified used car. I don't have to go to Jim's Auto Shop in some podunk town in Indiana or Kansas. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, you can get a player from a Power 5 program you know is fully qualified, no character concerns, just wants to move closer to home. Just believes in your offensive system. Or are you going to go and get a JUCO kid who might have academic concerns, character concerns, or might have other issues. It's just, it's not the same. And I know everybody's going to, Rico, there's some dogs in JUCO. Yeah, dude, I follow it. I know the players. It's just no longer a viable option when you can get a known commodity from a Power 5 school who just doesn't have any playing time. So that's why the JUCO isn't going to be there the way you envision. So no, not 20% JUCO. Big fan. Keep killing it, man. Thank you so much. How do you think Clemson stacks up against FSU? I think they do. Are you confident? Are you more confident in FSU after last night? I've always thought the same of them. I love this show. Thank you. I'd love to see Clemson get upset tonight. Wouldn't we all? Everybody loves a good upset. Great in-depth response. Thank you, Traver. I try my best, brother. What chat are you reading, Rico? This one. Why do people disrespect Cade Klubnik? They don't know what they're talking about. Jamal Banks is him. Wake deserves more credit for producing top wide receivers. Valid. Only thing is the sacks. I would kill to see Rico rip Dabo to shreds on ESPN. I like Dabo. I wouldn't rip him to shreds. Point of information on quarterback rushing in college. Sacks count as negative yards, unlike the NFL. This is 100% true. 31.5. GOAT. Riley Leonard's rushing yards is 31.5. You think FSU is going 12-0? No. Not an ACC question, but with you being close with the players, especially since they were in high school, if one of them were to disclose to you that the NFL was rigged in some form, how would you react? I would not be shocked. I don't think the NFL is rigged, by the way. I think the least compromisable sport is one where people are getting paid large amounts of money. Right? You can compromise baseball player, or not baseball, you can compromise football, college basketball, because they're not getting paid the same as the professionals. It's really hard to compromise a millionaire. It's really hard. There's no incentive to it other than they hate their organization, right? But at the lower levels, they were compromising basketball games for a pair of sneakers, bro. UT will beat Bama and bring on the Tide quarterback controversy. There you go. Jake Bringenstool, over under 29.5 receiving yards. Don't care. Cade Klubnik, over 2.5 rushing passing touchdowns. Don't care. What are your thoughts on all the motions in FSU's defense? Just trying to fool the quarterback. Oh, their offense. Yeah, just trying to fool the defense. What do you think about FSU's defensive line? Probably one of the best in the country. I got them top 3 for sure. What's your take on Boston College's future? I talk about it in many videos. Jeff Hafley needs to be fired. I made a video about it this morning. Thank you for the tip. I appreciate you. Thoughts on Jared Verse? He's one of the best defensive linemen in the country. Are you going to be on stream during the game? Maybe, Noah. Sometimes I like to kick it with my girl. I watched Blake Corum yesterday. He looked flat-footed. Well, check his feet, bro. Speaking of young coordinators, Alex Atkins at FSU, Norval calls plays, but O-line play has improved drastically under him. Yeah, they've also hit the transfer portal and gotten 3 starters from it. Stop it. Do you think Levante Bentley could have played in the Clemson linebacker core? No. Who's the Clemson freshman defensive lineman, man, you were talking about? Peter Woods. No, the Clemson linebacker room is probably one of the best in the entire country. Bentley couldn't see the field at Clemson. Do you think Virginia Tech has good potential? Not necessarily. After tonight, depending on how Clemson plays, will the FSU game determine who wins the ACC? Nope. All the other games matter. Would you be surprised if Louisville went 12-0 this year and with Notre Dame being their only ranked opponent? Not at all. Is UNC going 10-0 into Clemson? I don't know. That's a loaded question. Virginia Tech, definitely. Okay. Do you think FSU can push for a championship this year? They're going to have to. This is their year. Drake May thoughts. Rewind the show. After what you said about Clemson transfer portal usage, what do you think about DJ at OSU? Was about family or a miss in recruiting? So this is a Pac-12 question, but I want to answer it because I'm going to tell you guys something. DJ Uiagalelei is from a Samoan family. They're very close-knit, and they're all this. You guys know what I mean. They get real emotional and shit. Very close with his parents. But he has a quarterback's coach, and he had a personal trainer in high school. And I don't want to say the guy's name. He's actually a pedophile. Okay, he got arrested for being a pedophile. But he's a good-looking dude, and DJ's mother was cheating with this guy. And when DJ's mother started cheating on his dad, this was last year, Dad got upset about it. The family broke up. The family essentially broke up. The family fell apart. And it's a sad story. But that's what was affecting DJ at Clemson last year. His father stopped talking to him. His father was upset with everybody. DJ didn't know whose side to take. And eventually, DJ moves to Oregon State to be closer to his brother. And now he's closer. Now he's talking to his dad again. And he's healthy mentally. And it's hard for kids to understand when parents start cheating. It's hard for kids to understand when families fall apart because you think your parents are going to be in this white picket fence and they have this relationship that you don't know about. So when you get exposed to a certain level of cheating or reality with your parents, you don't quite understand it or grasp it. You don't react the same way. You might be upset with one of the parents. You might be upset with the fact that dad doesn't talk to mom anymore and dad won't drag mom's name in the mud and tell the truth. But I've gotten a ton of messages in my DMs about this from inside information. And I didn't make a video on it because I don't want to make money off the clicks on that. It's unfortunate. And I also couldn't prove it other than the rumors, and then I saw the arrest, and then I saw this, that, or the other. All I can tell you is DJ's play is going to be greatly improved this year at Oregon State. He can get his head on straight, and hopefully his parents stop fucking around and cheating on each other. Shout out to Mom for being a class act. Do you think Holy Cross can go in and beat BC? I hope not, but it can happen. How did you feel, that you meant to say Phil, you wrote fell, about NC State versus UConn? I thought UConn played great. And NC State looked substandard. What is the topic for today's show? Question purposes, does anyone know? Yeah, it's in the damn title, bro. Before you click on it, it says Rico Knows College Football, ACC, Week 1 results, Week 2 picks, and everything Colorado. Appreciate that. I feel they are one of the weakest in the conference. Big 10, Big 12, whenever you guys write a comment like this, Mr. Gimp Show, shout out to you, brother. But listen, when you write a comment like, I feel they are one of the weakest in the conference, you can't write that to me because by the time I get to the chat, I don't know who you're talking about. So if you wrote, I feel, and then you write a name, I feel Boston College is one of the weakest in the ACC. Now I know what you're talking about. Can't be vague. Got to be very specific in your comments in my chat, guys, or I won't have a clue what you're saying. Braylon Allen, Heisman season. Remember I told you that. Wisconsin, if they win all their games, it'll be because of Braylon Allen. He rushed for 144 yards in the first game. Tanner Mordecai threw 2 interceptions. I already know this is coming. Braylon Allen's going to be the reason Wisconsin wins 11 games. And if he does that, he will have an insane amount of yards. We'll see. We'll see. It's a total long shot. It's not realistic. Does Travis Hunter have any chance at the Heisman from a position standpoint? Definitely from a position standpoint, but your team has to be winning or they'll ignore you. ACC used to be great in the 90s and the early 2000s and 2014 when they won the national title. Clemson was holding that conference together for the past 10 years, for sure. Mater Dei versus Creekside, thoughts? Did they already play each other? Was that Sunday? I didn't see the final score. Or is that coming up? If you guys don't know, Creekside is a 5A school here in Georgia. They're pretty good. They're a perennial power, kind of. They're not bad. They have no business playing Mater Dei. Was it a blowout? Yeah, it was a blowout. I thought so. Yeah, these two teams should not be playing each other. My boy, Elijah Brown. It was 48-0 at the half, 62-0. I already told all these Georgia kids, man, you think your school's good until you got to go play Mater Dei. Mater Dei beat them 62-0, Creekside. They're ranked in the state, 5A. You got no business playing Mater Dei, bro. 7 touchdowns later, those are adults, bro. Don't be playing against them guys. Those are 19-year-old reclassified Samoans, bro. The whole line is 19-year-old reclassified Samoans. Stop it. Who could be a sneaky ACC title team? Miami, Louisville. I don't think Travis Hunter will be in the conversation until after week 5 if he's consistent. Drake May, game thoughts. He's good. Rewind the show. Sorry if you already answered, but what you got at UNC record prediction? I haven't done the record prediction. I haven't answered. I won't. We're short on time. I just want to get down to that away, the Waddy way. Thanks for everything. Send me a tip for $14. Hey, man, I appreciate you, brother. I didn't want to end the show till I got to your tip because you earned the right for the shout-out. Thank you so much. You guys, I apologize if I didn't get to all your comments and questions. It's been 2 hours. We're capping the show right now. Thank you for being here. We're sitting at 250 people. I want you guys to know something, and I'm going to say this to those of you who are new to the stream and watching. I used to do this stream with 30 people watching. The quality, the content, the knowledge, the takes, all of it was the same. It didn't matter who was watching me. I know who I am, and I know what I bring to the table. And one day, these numbers are going to be in the thousands. And I'm going to be the same guy. Good is good. Great is great. We know who we are. I've been the greatest nobody's ever known about. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys sharing your night with me, making my life possible. And just remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all. Enjoy the game tonight. Gone.
Who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you